All right. Everyone here?
Raise your hand if you're not.
Yeah, looks like I got everyone. Okay. So, the Traveler's Companion was updated today. I did post the patch notes in the announcement channel. Not too much has changed. Just added some clarifications and simplified some stuff. Did anyone have any questions about any of that?
I didn't even see it yet, but
Yeah, it's not like a major change.
I didn't
Like,
think so. Yeah.
yeah. If you have any questions, you can always ask me. But otherwise, I don't have anything. Oh, we are moving towards level 3 pretty soon here. Not quite level 3, so don't update your character sheets yet. But we are getting there soon. I would like to do something special for everyone at level 3. So if you can just let me know, like what archetype, for those that get like the archetype subclass thing majigger at level 3, you can just let me know what you guys are like planning on doing. That way I can like do something, kind of role play special instead of just like, oh ding, leveled up. So
I already told you mine, right?
no, if you did, I don't remember, or I wasn't paying attention.
Nice.
Arfei. It was Arfei, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it was like special Arfei though. Arfei custom. Okay, yeah. Send that as a text or Discord, or send it somewhere where it's in like writing, so I remember, or I have it written down because I've never
Oh,
remembered.
bitch, I know. I texted you about it.
Yeah. Okay, send it to me in Discord. I'm sorry.
This is something from all of us?
Yes, because everyone at level 3, not oh, okay. So I know clerics. Well, I just learned today. Clerics got theirs at level 1, but most everyone gets like a special something at level 3. Like rogues get to choose between like assassin or thief. That's really the only class I know because that's really the only D&D class I play. But I think fighters also get like some, like they can choose like battle master or like.
Okay, so you want to? Oh, so you want to know what line we're
be able to do arcane
choosing, or?
Yes, correct. I want to know what you're choosing.
Okay, got it.
What did you say, Adam?
Can rogues choose arcane trickster?
Yeah. That was just me giving like the examples off the top of my head. I've never played an arcane trickster, so I totally forgot about it. But yeah, whatever.
I was playing with the idea. I don't know if I'm going to go that route for sure. I just wanted to make sure.
Definitely anything that is in the like official D&D source material. So if you find in D&D Beyond and it's not in the homebrew section, you can definitely use it.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, just let me know what you guys are planning on picking up. That way I can like do a little bit of roleplay special, so you feel like you actually had something happen in order for you to become like this now Archfey Warlock, or this more powerful Tempest Cleric or whatever.
More powerful.
Yeah, I totally didn't realize that Cleric got their crap at level 1.
Well, I mean, they gotta believe in a god, so
maybe they can spend level 1 and 2 like just wandering trying to find a god.
just believing but not believing in a god in particular.
Exactly. And then they
We're
place
not paladins, okay?
Paladins don't have gods anymore. They have oaths.
Yeah, well, apparently a paladin could be a divine fucking crusader of justice for 2 levels before he has to pick a fucking oath.
He'd be a murder hobo for 2 levels before he swears an oath.
No shit. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, definitely get that to me before next week. That way I have enough time to do something special for everyone. But other than that, did anyone have any comments, questions, concerns, feedback, any of that jazz before we jump right in?
Yeah, just one thing.
Go for it.
This is our first session on stream, so I just wanted everybody to introduce themselves, preferably in character. This is what, our 5th session now? Is that right? 4th. I can't remember.
3 gameplay.
Okay.
think we had two meets prior to 3 game.
Man, 3 game. It feels so much longer than that.
Yeah.
We were
So-
moving pretty slow.
If you guys wanted to go around the table and introduce yourselves, that would be
Story
great.
of their lives.
Yeah, go for it. Whoever wants
This
to
is
go.
Alvador.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Popcorn.
My name's Sid. I'm a gender changeling warlock that uses it descriptors. Just kidding. But I am Sid.
So
I'm
this-
changeling warlock.
So this is Dalvador. I'm a draw fighter. The group into safety and try to keep our asses safe.
Popcorn.
My name is fucking Alec. I almost fucking forgot. It's been so many months we've been adventuring, and I almost forgot who my character was. Now I know. I'm a Kenku. I'm a bit confused, but also just woke up and not used to this time of day, I suppose. Yeah. Popcorn.
My name's Magnar Starhorn. I'm just here for moral support.
I think
That and they're crashing in my house.
yeah. That leaves the last 2 people.
Well, my name's Greg. I'm the local drunk. I guess, in sorts, I'm good at fighting with my hands. That's about it.
And I am Mael. I'm from another land. And I don't know how I got here.
And our DM, if you would like to introduce yourself, that would be great.
Yes. I am the master of all your fates. I
Oh
am
my god.
the Raven Queen. I own all your souls.
I think it's time we find a new D.
I mean, we've had 2 years to find one, so really anybody here could have stepped up the entire time we played.
That's very true. The DM remains in power because no one else wants to step up.
Heavy lies the crown.
But yeah, I told you guys not last week, but the week before, that Mike / Alvador will take care of the recaps. I would like to encourage each and every one of you to give a recap. Not you don't have to do it every week, but just pick a week and do a recap. If you don't want to, that's also fine. There is no reward or incentive or anything like that. It's just something I think it's important to hear a recap from the player, or rather not the player, the character's perspective, rather than the DM just kind of going down his notes and spitballing what happened last week.
But- We're gonna slip me 100 gold pieces for doing it.
So, and Mike is happy to do it every week, but I still want to encourage everyone to, if hop in and do a recap for a week, just get in on the action. But I'm not gonna force it. But with that, Mike, if you want to go ahead and give the recap and take it away.
Yeah, I want to reiterate, I'm happy to do it. I take notes anyway, but by no means do I want to take on anybody's shoes or make this. I mean, obviously, this is Alvador's perception of the game as he played it that night. In any case, so this is the recap from March the 24th. The group woke on the morning of the 6th day of air, fully rested and anxious to begin earning a bit of coin. Alex, charismatic than usual, perhaps just my misperception, but in any case, the main group went into town while Mel went off fishing. He had a successful 3-minnow catch, a melody coming from his cauldron, and upon investigating, found out that there was liquid in there was none before. Then all of a sudden, the liquid sort of imaged into his homeland. Scenes of it drying up, which was to male. He kicked the pot over, and of course it released no liquid. Ultimately, he got rid of the pot. To town and was greeted by Aloric, a seemingly tall dwarf, and his brother Orsic, who was typical height but a little bit heavy around the girth. Avaldor had originally placed an ad for an experienced cook and hostler to take care of the group food and he'd swallow on the trek, and the other for a caretaker. Apparently the high priestess must have received word because which we met at the tavern. With us, along with the cart wagon, take a quick tour. Here's where it's at, how to do this and that. Their gear stowed in their saddlebags in the wagon. We headed back over towards the high priestess at that point. We went into the church. Male did not go in. The horses and the gear. The group, with a vial of holy water, +1 quantity. Stid took possession of one of those, and she bestowed a weapon enchantment on each of the weapons. Again, I think Mel was the only one who declined, so it's a +1 against mislings. Description on everybody's weapons, and if I recall correctly, Sid is the only one that could interpret the meaning. We discovered that nation glows if we're in the presence of mislings. We'll talk about that in a minute. And she offered a warning to be careful, that the road was very long and dangerous, that the mislings form from the mist, and they're heroes who have lost their way. The church in the afternoon, they traveled north. So the rabbit prevented place for the night.
Your voice just like drifted way off.
While we figured we were about an hour to this, we became disoriented and were unable to proceed. At that point, I know of and then we heard the sounds of a giggling girl. Sid engaged the little girl, provoked it. Its eyes turned red with 4 kings, 1 tribute. There was a skirmish, and then just disappeared. The camp on the tree line off the road rather than attempt travel in the poor visibility. First watch, Hamilton. On the morning of the 7th day of air spring. There was a skirmish, and on the morning of the 7th day of the air spring.
So you were kind of breaking up in the middle of that. I didn't know if that was it.
The group. Did I break up during the whole thing?
Not the whole thing. Like in the middle, there was a lot of breakup, and then you pick back up a little bit, and then there was also a little bit breakup after that.
Something when I'm breaking up, I'll try to.
Yeah, I think it's.
I think Alex. Yeah, I think Alex mentioned it.
I think it might just be your sensitivity on Discord. You might need to bump it up a bit.
That could also be it as well. Yeah.
Oh.
It sounded like a broken robot to me. It just time stretch.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily breakup. It was more so like it did sound like there was like some lag there going on. Yeah, it might not just be you. It might just be the server.
Go into what settings? Is there settings?
Yeah, just the cogwheel down at the very bottom, in the middle. Just click the add user settings, and then voice and video, and then that slider bar right in the middle of the screen.
Okay, input or output volume?
No. The input sensitivity, lower than that.
Okay, so lower it.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn off the automatically determined switch first.
Yeah, and then just I find about maybe negative 64 decibels is about where I like to be.
Should that thing be off automatic?
It should be.
Oh, that's good to know. Mine's on automatic. What do you set it to?
Negative 64 is about what I like.
Okay, I've set it to negative 64.
Okay.
Alright, well, we'll see how that.
All right. So yes, we are waking up the morning of the 7th day of Air Spring, second age, or the 10th year of the second age. First things first, as always, Alec, I need you to roll a charisma save. While Alec is doing that, it is the morning. It is it's about 6 in the morning. So you're pretty much stirring at this point. What are you guys? What are you guys up to?
Well, what is Aloric doing?
He is getting breakfast ready because you hired him to also cook as well. So yes, he's getting breakfast ready.
Okay.
Damn,
I'm just checking.
this is terrible.
That is pretty terrible.
And I have advantage, so it's that one on the left, buddy.
I was like, okay, a second. What's this? Is this for the book?
Yes, this is for the book.
You should just destroy that thing, man. I don't want to metagame, but for real, you should just destroy it.
All right, let me.
Nah, we're good. I'll go with this.
I am messaging you what is going on, Adam, in Discord.
Okay.
There you go. So what are you guys up to? As the morning
We
crests over
should
the
get rid of the book. We should get rid of the book immediately.
Checking on Aloric with his.
Aloric got up pretty, a couple, maybe like half an hour, maybe an hour before everyone else. So breakfast is pretty much ready, maybe a couple minutes more. Nothing fancy. He's just cooking from what the supplies you guys had brought from Dencha. So,
So, I mean, without going into character, I mean, I'd like to make sure that for breakfast, the horses have been tended to, and we're on due to leave within the hour and a half, based on cooking, cleanup, taking down the site, so on.
mm-hmm. What about everyone else?
Is there a body of water nearby?
No, there is not. You're not on the road. You're off the road, but around you, it's pretty much thicket. There is no, not even a stream. That's at least not within like vision.
All right, I'm gonna go wander the forest real quick.
Okay. Looking for a body of water.
Well, male is, but I'm just gonna wander.
Is John wandering or is Male?
No. Male is looking for a body of water, but I'm just gonna wander until we're ready to go.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. How about everyone else? And if you guys are ready to take off and continue the journey, just let me know. I'm just seeing if there's anything you guys want to do with it before we move
Well,
on.
Albador, there is something I want to do besides the whole usual pack your bedrolls and get on the road.
Of course. And just to reiterate, when we're doing the journey phases, I'm just familiar, I guess, with it. When we're doing the journey phases, I'm going to like basically briefly go over the phases of the day, like morning, afternoon, etc. If there's something you want to do, speak up. Otherwise, I'm just going to say, oh, it goes on uneventfully, and then just move on. Just to keep things going.
So Albador then needs to know from the DM. I mean, what time does dawn break? I mean, what time do you start getting?
So that is in the Traveler's Companion under pace.
Okay.
Dawn, it's everything is broken up into four phases of the day: dawn, morning, afternoon, and night. Each phase is 6 hours long. Dawn is midnight to 6 a.m. Morning is 6 to noon. Afternoon is noon to 6. And night is 6 to midnight. And that is I know I went over that pretty quickly, but that is in Traveler's Companion under travel.
Oh, okay, but the first two again were what and what?
Dawn and morning.
Hold on, let me. And what were the times?
Dawn is midnight to 6. Morning is 6 to 12. There's 6 hour periods.
Okay, so I mean, I guess the only problem with that is you're trying to confine it to a 6 hour time zone. Fitting in, or is not with necessarily a time block. So, of conversation, I would want to make sure that the group is up, and breakfast, and the horse is ready, so that at first light, go.
That's fine.
So if you can, within your time block schedule, because it's not going to fit neatly in dawn or morning necessarily, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's really just abstract times. Like, I mean, it's pretty much a little bit before morning. Like the sun is just starting to hit the horizon. Like it's starting to rise. Yeah.
So while having breakfast, I would want to have a conversation with the group. So I mean,
go for it.
Get that in. But no, I mean, I didn't know if you had made the rounds with everybody, found out what everybody's doing. So
no, like I said, I'm just gonna. You guys need to let me know if I need to stop. Otherwise, I'm just going to move on to the next phase of the day.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, Greg's just waiting for breakfast.
Oh, that didn't go quite as planned as I had hoped.
Yeah, I reckon next time we probably should just wait and make camp instead of trying to push through the night.
Hey. A couple things. I wanted to ask Sid. That the High Priestess was riding on all the weapons. Can you tell us what that is? The weapons seem to glow at night if there's a missling around.
Sid. Corey. I think they're okay at the moment.
Okay.
Hello?
So,
Can y'all not hear me?
Now we can.
oh, there you are. Yes, now we can.
Okay. Did I not tell y'all that last session?
Don't recall. I don't. I think you read it out in the inscription, but I don't remember if you told us exactly what the interpretation was.
Let me see if I wrote it down. No, I don't think I wrote it down.
A little help from the DM, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't write this. Just assume I told it to y'all, I guess.
Sorry. It was. Wow, How far down is it on my notes?
Oh, you did whisper it to me, so it's probably
I
still
did.
there in
Yeah, there it
Discord.
is. Valo Tat. Oh, you're not pronouncing that. It's Swedish. Finnish, not Swedish.
Finnish,
Finnish. It translated to Starlight. Here's the actual pseudo Elvish.
So, Starlight. I'm having a little tough time trying to see how that kind of the inscription then perhaps because blue. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that kind of magic, so I don't know the particulars, but it is Elvish in origin.
So, out of character, DM, is there, with your, I know you're in possession of sort of the map and whatnot. Is there another place that we can theoretically, I guess, within movement speed and time around?
What are you trying to do?
So, I'm looking at the map with the group, trying to plan our day, our stops for the horse rest and lunch and that kind of stuff. Is there some homestead or something else that we can possibly reach? So we don't do the whole.
Yeah, the next one is about. You'll probably make it there in about probably the end of the morning, so closer to noon.
Okay.
That'll be the next stop.
So I guess I'd recommend that we just take a little short and be safe rather than try to risk it.
There's another. I'm sorry.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is to effectively plan not again tonight. Is this the only stop that would be logical or permissible?
Yes. The next. There actually isn't another stop until. There's another civilized spot until the castle. So the next stop you'll make by afternoon. But after that, there isn't another stop or another civilized, another farmstead or anything until the castle.
Okay, so I guess that's a conversation we should be having. So I guess it looks like we could take and stop. We should reach it by early afternoon. We're gonna somehow have to make our trips a homestead or a safe place. So who has the water?
For what?
You broke up there at the end.
Damn. Holy water.
Oh, I think that was Mayo, wasn't it?
He's not here.
I'm talking to Alador.
I know. I'm just letting them know, or reminding everyone.
Because I think, if I remember correctly, the High Priestess said something to the effect that it can be used against the creatures that spawn from the mist.
Yeah, I do
Don't
vaguely
know.
remember that.
Don't know if perhaps use the whole bottle, but maybe together and think, is there a way to stretch that and still be able to use it effectively without having to waste it?
If anyone would know, it'd probably be our priest. I'm gonna go try to find Mail.
Okay, tell him to hurry up. I'd like to get on the road.
I will accompany Mr. Sid.
Male, roll me a survival check.
Oh no.
I mean, you say you're wandering, so let's just see how. Let's see your sense of direction.
I look forward to seeing you.
Okay, but what if I don't want to?
Do you not want to wander?
Add 1 to that. I forgot to add 3.
Okay. Sid and Greg, you guys, kind of venture out, not too far out from the camp. I'm still within, I guess, like shouting distance to where they can hear you. But you do come across Male, who seems to be kind of just wandering around.
Is he like kind of aimlessly wandering? Like, there's no,
I don't know, Male. Are you? You tell me.
Yes. I am not familiar with this land.
Hey, Mel, it's not a good idea. We're gonna be heading out soon. We should get back to camp.
I can't hear you guys. I'm not near you.
I thought we found you. Did you say we found him?
He did. You guys did find him.
What do you mean you found me? I'm fast.
Oh my god. Do you not want to be found?
Are we
No,
not
no.
fast?
I mean, you rolled an 11, so unless you told me otherwise, how far you're going out, I just assumed you're sticking at least somewhat close.
I'm just thinking around.
I shout out.
Hey, Male, do you still have that holy water? Avaldor was thinking maybe we could use it against some mistlings.
Boys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm looking at my inventory and I do not have the whole water in there. So you did not give it to me. And to be fair, I wouldn't have accepted anything from her. So I do not have it.
It might have been Sid, actually, because Sid took the mana crystals.
We all have holy water in a sense. It's just not. I don't think it's like holy, but it's blessed by.
No. She only gave us 1 bottle. She gave us one bottle of the holy water.
Didn't I request 1 bottle each for everybody?
I think you did.
This is what 2 weeks off will do to you.
No, you did. She only gave you 1 bottle, though. You guys didn't, you just slap her on the wrist when she gave you the 1 bottle, so.
Well, who'd she give it to then? I don't have it in my inventory. I have the mana crystals, but not.
Everything was given because Avaldor was the one.
I really abused her purse, anyways.
Avaldor was the one who was pretty much speaking for the group, so everything was given to Avaldor and then distributed from there, and I did not keep track of how it was distributed.
Okay.
All right,
that's
well
up to you
then
guys.
I'll just then it's in my backpack. I mean, for the sake of argument, I mean it's not that big a deal. And
Yeah.
That's that thought.
It got stolen by the mistlings.
Yeah, exactly. The little girl stole it.
Guess that's canon now.
And I'm made of holy water, so.
Oh gosh.
Just saying.
So John's our secret weapon against the mistlings.
You guys have no idea.
Yeah, you just need to cut him up and get his blood.
I don't know about all that. Don't listen to them.
You hear whisperings in your mind.
Maybe we can drink him.
All right, I'm going to
This is
start
getting-
smiting people if you keep this talk up, fucking heretics.
Unless anyone else has anything else, or unless I have anything else to take care of in the morning. You've eaten breakfast, and the journey is progressing.
Sounds good to
Okay.
me.
Okay. Unless anyone says otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and progress. So you've been traveling for a couple hours here, and it's about the sun is about top of the sky, leading you to believe it's the afternoon of the 7th day of Air Spring, 10 years in the Second Age. You are down the road. You come across a farmstead, and you are surrounded by fields all around, interrupted only by the road which passes through. Horses and sheep frolic and loiter in the silent pastures. Just down the road is a charming farmhouse covered in vines and wall shrubs.
Hey, Avelzu, you think that's the farm on the map, mate?
I think it is. The character. This is more than 1 hour from our stop, so this isn't the original homestead we were looking for, correct? This is like one past it.
Right.
Perspective. Okay.
Does this mean we're out of the forest?
Yeah, you're out of the forest, so you're pretty much at farmlands.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Is there any
character.
signs of farm hands or people in the fields?
Real quick, what did you say, Sid?
I said I'm gonna turn into a new character. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I don't want to stay the dwarf that the little girl seemed to have a problem with.
Would you like to share with the group what you are transforming into?
I don't. Well, where are we? Are we on our horses?
I
Yeah,
assume
we're
so.
just riding into town, right?
Some are on horses and some are in the wagon.
Yeah, unless you want to go on foot.
I mean, I'm assuming I'm on my horse, and I'm still clothed, so you guys don't know yet. I'm just letting you know.
Okay. It would have been better if you just didn't let us know, but okay.
Oh my god.
You, from where you're at, the road, like I said, it passes through the farms, but it kind of curves in a way that there's a little bit of a hill, so it is kind of blocking the farmhouse a little bit. So from where you're at, you don't see anyone at least, but it sounds like you can hear voices from just very faint from just beyond the ridge, the hill.
Human voices?
Yeah, voices. And several voices. It sounds like there's a group of people at least.
I mean, it sounds common. They're in common. I mean, it's a recognizable.
Yeah,
Or
exactly. Yeah, it doesn't sound hostile or aggressive or anything.
I mean, I can. Okay, but it doesn't sound like it's a foreign tongue, I guess.
Right.
Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Make sure again that I clarify. We've got a road going through fields. The farmland that or the farmhouse that we're talking about would theoretically be in control of all these fields that we're seeing.
Theoretically.
Are the fields, are there plants in the fields? Are they empty? Are they?
They're pastures rather than actual like.
Okay, so we're looking for not
So they must
corn
do
and oats
ranching
and
here, not farming, right?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
They do ranching
Something
here, not
both.
farming. Is that what
yeah.
I mean that's what it looks like. I don't want to like.
See a bunch of animals.
You said-
as we're riding into the town, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing like pastures with animals.
Yeah,
and-
that's where you're seeing. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You're seeing animals. Right.
All right.
It was horses and cows. I'm sorry. What was the second
horses,
one?
I believe.
Sheep.
And goats. Oh,
Yeah.
sheep.
Sheep.
Close.
Horses and sheep. Okay. All right. Pause the group. So, yeah, a good idea for all of us to just go down there all at once. Should go on ahead and just to scout it out. The farmhands and folks, heads up that we're coming to the group.
That sounds like something I can do.
Okay, let's go on down, and everybody else, if you would, just hang tight. Time to go talk to the people and some lodging for the night.
Who's going?
So Alvaldor and
Sid, I guess. Yeah.
right.
Sid, are you still cloaked?
I mean, I'm edgy like that.
Okay. So we still don't know what you are. For all we know, you're still a dwarf.
Yeah, for all you guys know.
Okay.
I mean, as we approach, I guess I'll.
I mean, you just let me know when you reveal yourself. Like that's all I'm asking.
Okay.
What was that radiating glow coming out of your cloak a minute ago?
What?
Teasing.
So as the two of you approach, the farmhouse is apparently in great need of some maintenance, but without being a danger to those who live there. A large barn houses livestock during harsher weather. A round pen for horse training stands at the back of the courtyard, and a well-kept garden in the middle of the courtyard is filled with all sorts of fruits and vegetable plants. The farmstead has a mellow feel to it. The sounds of nature, the creaking of wood of the farm buildings are only interrupted by a small gathering on the road outside the house. This
Small gathering of people?
Yeah, so the small gathering looks to be a rowdy group of 6 farmers. Looks like they're crowding around a halfling male and a dwarf female. The group, this rowdy group, are holding pitchforks and other farming tools. And they seem to be kind of, like I said, gathering around these two, this halfling male and this dwarf female, and their voices begin to just get louder and louder.
Is there a route I can kind of like sneak along to see if I can get close enough to hear all the conversation, like exactly what they're saying to each other?
Are you trying to stay out of sight?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me stealth with your.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Okay. You kind so Sid and Alvador move on ahead, and Alec, you kind of want to get a little bit of a better view. Just maybe keep an eye on your comrades, but as well as see what's going on behind the hill.
Are we all here?
You all, everyone stayed behind except for Sid and
Alvador and
Alvador.
Okay, so
well, Alec as well.
Male didn't
Yeah.
hear it. Fair enough.
And then Alec, you kind of, after they move on ahead, you kind of creep up to the hill. Maybe you get prone, just trying to kind of just watch, not try to give yourself away. But as you make it to the crest of the hill, you cough. Alvador, you hear this. Sid, you hear this. You're still a little far off, Alec, from the group. That the group really doesn't hear it, but Alvador and Sid, you guys hear it.
Is it Alex cough?
You turn your head and you see Alec there on the hill. With the direction of the cough, at least, yeah. So that's your assumption.
So I thought I told
I
you
like
to stay
turn the
back
other
and
direction
behind.
so I'm not looking right at the people. I'm just doing my own thing.
Alec, would you kindly stay back with the group, please?
Yes, of course. I was just getting a better view of the environment. And,
Okay, we'll get the view from right there. Don't come any closer. We'd like to take and see what's going on before we rowdy up these people. They don't know us from.
all right then.
All right. I turn around and.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey.
Sorry, my dad keeps calling me.
Fine.
So what did I miss?
Alec was trying to get a better view, but gave himself away with the cough.
Oh, I assumed y'all would have moved on. I'll turn to him and I'll say, "Hey there, Alec. Seems like things could get a little touchy here. You may want to go ahead and head back."
And I nod and I do head back.
Okay.
So our attention then is redrawn back to what seems to be this agreement or vocal exchange between a halfling male and a dwarf female.
6 farmers, a halfling male, and a dwarf female.
And the halfling male, dwarf female seem to be on the opposing side, as if they're together in opposition of the 6 farmers. Is that sort of
Correct. Voices are getting louder, almost to the point of like kind of like shouting. The group of farmers begin to kind of close in a little bit tighter on the 2.
okay? So Sid, come on, horse, and gallop into the crowd. See,
The crowd stops shouting, and they all turn to look at you. One of the farmers, a dwarf male, a dwarf male. There it is. A dwarf male steps forward. He says, "Don't get too many visitors around here. If you don't mind, we got some business with these 2. Is there anything I can do for you? You lost your way?"
say that you don't get a whole lot of visitors, treat people like that. What the hell is going on?
These 2 spits on the ground. This is Densha's tax collector, and he's over here trying to collect money from us. Except the money that he's trying to collect is higher than last month.
Say that last part again.
The money he's trying to collect is higher than last month.
Oh, okay.
So I'll look at the. So it's the halfling that he's referring to.
Yes.
That's true.
The halfling adjusts his glasses, and he nods. That it is. It's not my fault though. I'm just doing what the treasurer told me to do.
So here's what you do: you go back to your treasurer and you tell him to come up with some reason as to why the taxes are higher. I suggest.
I'm sorry, sir, but I don't seem to. And again, he kind of adjusts his glasses, like he's trying to peer at you and trying to like see if he recognizes you. I don't think I know who you are. The farmer who spoke up earlier, he intervened and says, "Doesn't matter who he is. He speaks the truth. Now you get out of this. You get out of my farmstead before things get a little rough here." And then some of the other farmers in the group are kind of holding back 2 mastiffs, as the mastiffs begin like kind of barking and growling. The dwarf female, Avaldor Sid, you guys notice that she still is kind of has her hand on her weapon. She doesn't pull it out all the way, but she just like unsheaths it like slightly as if she's like getting ready.
So I climb down off the horse and.
Now let's calm down here, folks. Violence don't help nobody.
The dwarf.
I'll look at the dwarf and the halfling and say, these people clearly ain't gonna just head on back. Yeah, regroup and come back with more when things have calmed down a bit.
The halfling again kind of just readjusts his glasses, and it kind of squints at you, Sid. I'm trying to like, because you're still hooded, right? You're cloaked.
Oh no.
What are you now?
I mean, I still have like my cloak on, but the hood is lowered.
What are you? Did you mention that? I'm sorry.
No, I forgot. I'm just a human, like
Okay.
a short red hair, maybe a kind of white trash goatee or something.
Okay. The halfling peers up at you again, kind of just readjusting his glasses as if he's like trying to get a better view of you. But it's becoming more apparent that he doesn't have really great eyesight. He kind of squints up at you. Sid, he says, I'm sorry, but Freed, she said that I need to collect the taxes from Pernrith. If I don't collect the taxes, she's gonna have me locked up.
Can you write the names that you're speaking so that I can follow along?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Rith. Name of farmstead. There you go. Freed. Treasure of
Where are you putting it?
that.
Roll 20?
No, Discord.
Oh wait.
In the
okay.
general OOC.
General OC. And you said, okay, can you give me the I'm sorry, can you repeat what he's saying? I'm sorry.
Yeah, he said that the treasurer ordered him to collect the taxes immediately because.
So Freyd is the treasurer who ordered the tax collecting?
Correct.
Do we know Freyd?
No, you haven't met her.
Okay.
She is one of the elders of Thencha, though, which you do know. I mean, you don't know who the elders are, but you know that Thencha is run by elders.
And we know she sounds like a dick.
I think we established that Thencha are run by rich white people.
Well, tell me. You have to know something about why the taxes are higher than they are.
Well, according to Miss Freed, she said that Thencha has been having issues, and it's time for the farming communities to pay a little bit more for the protection that we give them. The dwarf farmer, kind of holds up he's holding a scythe, or rather a sickle, and he kind of raises it in the air. He says, "Bah! I haven't seen any of these guards that she's talking about. What protection? I know we're on the outer edge of Thencha's limits, but come on, you haven't sent any guards for us. We take care of ourselves."
So I turn to the farmer and I say, so let me ask you, do you have to give up a part of your crops to the crown, to this Freyd? Right? As part of your tax?
Damn right, we have to give up some of our crops, and we have to pay tax money. And he spits on the ground. More like protection money.
So I look at the halfling and say, farmers have already done their part. For 1 minute. Sid, would you mind going up the hill and going to get the militia? I think we're going to need everybody here. Go get the garrison if you have to, but send the militia on down. It's time to get these loud busters off this road. Then I turn to the halfling and say, so if you want to wait around for the rest of the garrison to get down here and put you in chains, you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, I suggest you get your asses off this road and hightail it out of here.
Roll me intimidation. Excuse me.
Hey, Sean.
Well, first, before I go into it, Sid, what are you doing? Like, how do you react to Avaldor's orders?
I mean, I'm gonna back him up.
I did it.
Okay.
I'm gonna back him up, but I will tell them, or I'll tell the, what's it called? Is it the halfling or no? It's a halfling, right?
Halfling, right?
The halfling. It sounds like these people already do their part by feeding Thencha. You're not gonna get by without food. You can't defend from the monsters if you're starving. Quit getting greedy. Go back, tell your boss that she needs to come up with a more fair solution.
The halfling looks over to the dwarf female and he nods at her and says, I think that's a good idea. Maybe we should go back and maybe explain the situation. The dwarf female, though, however, still hand on her sword. And again, not fully drawn, but it is like slightly out of the sheath, like as if she's like anticipating trouble, just getting ready. She looks over at you, Alvador. Looks over at you. She says, "What kind of authority do you have to command us, officers of Denja?"
Well, let's see. Let me count. What? A good count on all the swords, the axes, the great swords, but I'd say against you the 1 or 2. Yeah, I think you're a little bit outnumbered, and that's the authority I carry. If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get.
Numbers never really bothered me. What are your names? As she waits patiently.
So, has it? You want you need a parchment and a quill, some bottle of ink to write it down as well.
I think Merrick here can remember. Can't you, Merrick? Yeah.
Take a good look at the face, Merrick. Get.
No, he said just look at the face.
That's all I say. Look at the face.
Merrick again kind of just adjusts his glasses as he kind of squints at you. Alvator says, "Marnia, I really think we should go. Clearly we're not gonna be able to collect any taxes today. Maybe Freed can send other people. I just don't want to cause any trouble." The dwarf, the female dwarf who was referred to as Marnia. I'll write that down. Marnia, dwarf, female, guard with Merrick. She looks over at Alvador, looks over at Sid, looks over at the farmer, says, "That's fine. I'll be back though. And you won't be around when I do come back." She I mean, like I said, her weapon isn't fully unsheathed, but she, puts it all the way back in its sheath, and she walks, or rather stomps, past you, Alvador, down the road in the direction of Densha, which is where you guys were coming from.
She passes, just say, "Nice beard."
Merrick, who is looking very meek, doesn't make eye contact with either one of you as he kind of just scurries behind Marnia. Male, Alec, Magnar, you guys who have been waiting behind the hill, you see from the road coming from the direction you were going, you see a dwarf female and a halfling male kind of walk down the road. The dwarf female has a scowl on her face, and the halfling looks very timid and kind of meek. As they two pass you, the dwarf female looks at each one of you and just glares at you, but doesn't say anything as she just continues down, unless you stop her or anything.
I squint back at her really hard.
I run up and just kind of stride alongside of her and look at her, tilting my head to the sides.
She looks over at you, Alec, and she continues to walk. And as you're walking beside her, she stops and says, "Back off, bird boy."
Well, I didn't do nothing to you.
You're in my space.
All right, you got it. And I want to kind of let her go a little bit.
Okay.
And yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna do that. That's not gonna work. Okay, forget what I said.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hang
Let it
back
go.
with the group. Yep.
Okay. As you kind of back off and you go back to the group, she just glares at each one of you, and then she sees you, Mel, kind of squinting back at her, and she even glares a little bit harder back at you, as if there's like a glaring contest going on before she turns her back and continues down the road. The halfling again kind of just scurries behind her, not making eye contact with anyone, before they disappear down the road. The dwarf farmer, though, who was speaking for the group now kind of dispersing, leaving just the dwarf farmer. He looks over at you, Avaldor, and Sid. He says, thank you. These Thentia folk, they don't know what it's like living here on the outskirts of civilization. It's rough out here. There's nothing for miles. We're the last. We're just outside of the Thentia limits. And those rich, fat cats always asking us for some taxes and some of our crop to feed their people in their walls. Just ain't right.
Hard work that you must do and what you have to put up with. I have a favor to ask of you, perhaps.
Oh, of course. Ask anything. My name is Grimtor.
Hi, Grintor. I'm Alvaldor. And this is Sid. We have a small group up the road. We're heading, I was wondering if perhaps we could stay for the night. Avoid the... Perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about what you go through over here.
Grimtor spits on the ground and says, by golly, you can stay with me as long as you like. That right there. And as he kind of nods in the direction of the farmhouse that I mentioned was kind of in need of maintenance, but still doesn't look like it's gonna collapse or anything. He says, that right there is my farmstead. I'm kind of the head of our commune here. Welcome to Pernrith.
I appreciate your hospitality, and if you'll excuse us for just a few minutes, we'll go grab the rest of our group, and we'll meet you at the farmhouse.
Yeah, you do that. I'll let my wife know to expect company. How many you got with you?
We've got the total of 7, so 5 in addition to the 2 of us.
It sounds good. I'll tell my wife to cook up a little bit more for you folks.
We really appreciate that, but we have our own food, so we'd be happy to take in exchange what you cook us, so we'll give you some raw in return. How's that?
No. You see, here on the outskirts, we got some nice hospitality that those Thentia folk don't have. I ain't be taking any of your food. You two look like you're traveling somewhere, and you'll probably need that for wherever you're traveling. Please, accept my hospitality.
I do. It wasn't meant as a disservice or as an insult to you or your wife. I just wanted to be... So, we'll take you up on your offer for the food and the lodging for the night, and we'll be back in the short.
All right, sounds good. And then you see him kind of stomp off towards the farmhouse. The farmhouse.
I guess Sid and I probably, ride back to the group. Briefly, the story that just encountered and the journey to the farmhouse to save time. Yes.
Yeah. You guys want to go ahead and skip ahead to the farmhouse? That's fine.
Yeah.
You guys all arrive at the farmhouse. Avaldor having briefed you on what had just happened pretty quickly before arriving at the farmhouse. You give a good knock to the door, and the door opens wildly as you're greeted with Grimtor, who looks at each one of you and says, Welcome to my home. Please come on in and make yourselves at home. As the door was open, each one of you are just hit with the aroma of a very hearty vegetable stew.
Oh goodness, that smells delightful.
As each of you enter the home, it's a very modest home. Modest home for modest people. And it is just Grimtor as well as his wife. His wife is in the kitchen tending to the stew. She is also she's also a dwarf, a female dwarf. And she has a long red beard that goes right down to her feet, really bushy eyebrows. And as each of you enter the farm, she looks up from what she's doing, and you also notice that she is missing an eye. As she sees you walk in, she says, "Hello there."
Greetings, ma'am. That's a quite a good smell here coming out of your kitchen.
Of course. My husband here told me that we'd be having some guests. You drove out that nasty tax collector.
Did we lose connection?
No, that's where I stopped. She kind of trails off.
I reach over and pat Avaldor on the back and say,
Yep, that be me buddy Avaldor. He's good at scaring away no good fellas.
Something, because I listened down for
Sure,
30
sure.
seconds. What happened?
Oh, she was just mentioning that her husband told her about this group of people that came by and sent the tax collector back in. She says that well, that's good, because those tax collectors don't deserve anything we're having. Yeah, I'm glad you drove them away. I'm cooking this stew with all the vegetables. I hope you do like vegetables.
I shouldn't have been.
That's right, good. So, do you have any idea as to why they're collecting so much taxes? What's the word around town as to...
Grimtor speaks up, and he says, "There is no reason. Those fools out in Thensha thinking they can always send their tax collectors coming to take our hard-earned currency."
But it seems like that would be something they do annually, not every month, eh?
You would think so, but this new treasurer, she's been changing the rules. You see, back when my grandpappy owned this farm, it was annually. But you see, that was before before things kind of went to hell in a handbasket. After things kind of got a little crazy out here in the outside world, what not with the mist and all the craziness. Sorry, the voices are actually starting to my throat. With all that craziness and the mist, I took over this farm from my grandpappy, and then she got a whole slew of elders that kind of rose to the occasion and took over leadership of the town, and they changed the rules on us.
So they've been coming every month since then?
Exactly. You see, at first it wasn't too bad. Taxes were low, I couldn't really complain. But then they just start getting higher and higher every month, and I've just about had it.
You
Do
reckon
you have
we
anyone
should
that
go
represents?
overthrow the government?
I think that's a right idea.
I'm
I
all
think I can gather a few of my farmers here out in the commune. We can go march on Thentia, burn that city to the ground.
I started a coup.
Do you have anyone that represents you in Thentia?
That we don't.
Did y'all ever think about sending someone to argue on your behalf?
That's a that's a mighty fine idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that before.
That's probably a better idea than what I had.
I'll tell you, the way things are going, that dwarf's gonna come back with soldiers, and things ain't gonna go too well.
That's fine. You see, we might be simple farmers, but we know how to stick a pig.
All right, but listen, man, Ventures a city. No, y'all. I don't doubt the fighting spirit of y'all folks, but
They'll just overwhelm you.
So have a contract. I mean, code provisions or legal contract, and I would imagine that the farmers have a voice.
Ever since the collapse, things, all those paperworks and contracts and whatnot have been kind of lost, while that city over there, Thentia, kind of rebuilt itself. See, we took care of ourselves during the collapse. They ain't got no help from Thentia. It was just us out here on the outskirts fending for ourselves. Then Thentia decides after they rebuild themselves that they can offer us some kind of protection, like we need their protection.
Maybe you should get with the other outlying farmers and form a union.
That's a right idea. I like that. We can get a bunch of the farmer from all the different farming communities, march on Thentia.
Not much necessarily.
So-
That sounds pretty hostile.
Happens that my motor workers and I are experienced in this kind of thing, so we'd love to take and help you organize and business card. We're just south of you.
That sounds like a mighty fine idea. I just don't know really where to start. I'm not one for really words. I actually can't breathe.
Well, you should probably get with a lawyer and organize yourself into an LLC. Then you can go qualify for a bunch of tax breaks.
Jesus.
Straight out of Thentia. Oh god.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's just common sense, mate. If the tax breaks are there, you just need to use them.
As soon as you mention the word lawyers, he spit on the ground. Lawyers! Them lawyers are like gypsies, be stealing money, almost as bad as them fat cats out of the city.
Yeah, but what's worse, it's kind of like the lesser of two evils, don't you know?
I don't know. I think you had the right idea marching on the city. I really like that idea. Do you think that's a good idea, Bonnie? The bearded woman who's in the kitchen, she looks up from the stew and says, I think that's a great idea. I'm sure we can get Sue Ann from the next farmstead. She can get her husband to come with us, go up to Thentia, burn down those gates.
I'm so done with these people.
Well, maybe I was just a little too hasty to insinuate a coup. They will just kill you, you know.
I don't know about that, you see.
So here's
Go
what I would.
ahead.
So here's what I would propose. something along the same lines. Basically, get together with the other farmers and say, "Look, out of food. So if you don't want to eat, over their heads, you got them over the battle. You got food. They need food. So use that as your leverage." I got a couple of questions about these the mist that happens in the area.
What kind of questions you got? I'd be happy to answer them. You see.
So when did the mist start? And night. And what are these things that seem to appear?
Yeah, so the mists, they started long ago. Oh, since before my time, actually. It's got to be about at least 300 years back. They didn't start receding, though, until about 10 years back. And was your yeah? I think you asked another question.
Wait, you're saying that it started to recede 10 years back?
It started to recede 10 years back.
So what happened? I mean, so I guess I would ask, like, what happened 10 years ago that triggered the recession?
That I ain't sure. You see, all I knew is that the mist kind of happened, and the world kind of went to hell in a handbasket. Everyone was kind of cut off. Lightning in the sky, purple lightning in the sky, striking everywhere, burning down trees and other farms. Then there's these beasts and creatures. Things was just crazy back then. But 10 years back is when I remembered that the mist that used to be a persistent everyday thing kind of retreated, started disappearing, and only came back in the evening. Couldn't tell you, though, what happened exactly 10 years ago that caused it. I just noticed it.
So how did you guys keep safe out here so far out?
You see, now that's our secret. Our mastiffs.
So the dogs are able to take and scare them away, or they out? How do you use the mastiffs?
The mastiffs, got a nose for those creatures out in the mist. Didn't really know what's so special about it, but I did notice that every time we had to deal with some of those mystic creature problems, the mastiffs always seemed to know where to go. So we turned the hunters into the hunted.
So you turn the dogs loose on the apparitions.
Grimtor kind of slams his fist on his chair and says, "Damn right we did."
Oh, then the dogs are able to kill them, or they just scatter them away?
They just scare them away. I don't think those things are killable. We've never been able to hack and slash one. To be honest, we've never even really been able to get close to one. We just know that we turn the dogs loose on them, and those things just disappear.
So we're going to be traveling a couple of days without the ability to have a kind, generous soul on your wife or a roof over your head. Is there any chance that you could sell us a dog or two?
Sell you a dog? Boy, you drove those tax collectors out. I'll give you 2 of my dogs.
Oh, I'm most grateful.
Ain't nothing to be grateful for. You did a good deed, and your friend over here, he's pointing at Greg now, your friend over here giving us great ideas to get back at Densha.
Oh. I greatly appreciate it. I know the rest of the group will add to.
I gotta ask, though. You do look like travelers, that much is obvious, but where are you guys heading? This is the last line of civilization.
So we're gonna take and try to look for a touring party that goes to the northwest.
A party, you say? How long ago was that?
Can you fill that in DM? Because I don't remember.
Sure, it was about a week and some change.
10 days or something like that? Like a 10
Yeah,
days ago or something?
Yeah, I guess weeks are 10 days in this world. So about about 10 days and some change.
It's about 15 days, give or take.
Give or take. He says, I think we did come across a group of adventurers, travelers like yourself. They didn't stop here at the farmstead, they just kept on going, but they were nice. Didn't cause any trouble. I didn't ask where they were going. We didn't really converse much, just some pleasantries, but I did see them pass this way.
So did they take and continue on the road to the northwest?
They did, but like I said, I don't know what they're heading toward. The only thing out there is that old castle.
So what would be in the castle?
Oh, that castle be haunted. You see, that castle, we like to call that castle the tomb of the king killer.
And why would you call it that?
Because they killed Bloody King there.
Damn right, Bird Boy. Damn right they did. He did. You see, this was before my time, but my grandpa had told me stories. You see, long ago, when the humans had ruled this land, there were 4 kings, and those 4 kings, those 4 kings were heads of these 4 different houses, and they were like corrupt or something. Something had gotten into their heads, and they were driven mad. Started killing their own children, especially the girls. They wouldn't let any of the girls live. And it was then that this knight came along, and one by one this knight hunted down the kings and killed each one of them. Except, here's the bloody twist, is that the kings came back as like some undead zombie ghost things. Don't know where they went from there, but
Who was the knight?
Say it again?
Who was the knight?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I just know that it was a knight or a warrior or something that came and killed these kings.
They call me
That's who we
Kingslayer.
That's who we call the king killer. And he ended up taking residence out of that old castle. You see, that old castle used to be home, I'm told, to House Ravenwood, but that's some Densha rich person house, if you didn't know.
You got birds around here?
I mean, we got birds that fly in the sky, but nothing that I'm keeping, if that's what you're asking.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Is there any, like, in your gardens or anything that you usually see nearby?
Oh yeah, sure. We see plenty of birds. We got, pigeons. We got crows. Occasionally there's a raven that passes by. Don't see too many of those very often.
A raven, huh?
Raven, yeah.
Could you show me outside whereabouts you saw the raven last?
Yeah, sure. He gets up from the chair, goes over to... kind of goes over to the door. Doesn't go all the way out, but goes over to the door and kind of points over to... over to the fence that's kind of like along the road, and he says, "That's the last place I kind of saw that raven perch. Looked kind of curious, just like perched there, almost like as if it was like watching us or something. But I mean, it's just a bird. Bird's kind of weird. No offense."
None taken. Looking around, can I see anything like up in the trees or anything like that? Just kind of really trying to keep a keen eye on the area.
Sure. Roll me perception. While you're doing that, Bonnie, the bearded dwarf woman, she has finished cooking and she's starting to serve.
So Bonnie's his wife?
Yes. And what are you looking for again, Alec?
Birds.
Okay.
Just kind of like on trees or anything, or really anything in the trees or, the surrounding vegetation.
Sure. You don't see. You don't. Roll me insight as. Oh no! Let me do that actually real quick. Hold on. 1 second. Okay. You'll look out. Kind of like in the area. Looking just for birds. What you do notice, though, and it kind of strikes you as odd, is that there are no birds. In fact, there are no birds in an eerie way, because by now a bird would have passed by in the sky. You've seen birds. During the journey here. You saw birds. In the trees, in the sky, doing their normal bird things. But right now, it just seems kind of quiet, eerie quiet.
So, is there a sense of a lack of, the crickets and the birds and other things that make whatever? Is that something that concern?
You wouldn't know that. You guys are still out inside the house chatting with, unless you guys followed.
No, I meant in coming here, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm sort of a...
Yeah, nothing struck out of the ordinary coming here, yeah.
Okay.
So what's the seating like in here? Is she getting ready to serve us, I guess?
Yeah, it's a small little table, and by little I mean like dwarf sized.
Okay.
But yeah, she's pulled out a couple chairs. Some of them are kind of obviously don't match the rest of the furniture. It's clear that it's really only her and her husband, so they're adding extra seating. That doesn't necessarily go with the decor, but they are very accommodating, and she is serving you guys a nice hearty vegetable soup. It smells really good.
I accept their offer of soup, and I respond with,
Ma'am, sir, would you like a cup of ale? It's my own brew. I'd love for you to taste it.
Oh, I'd love some ale. As Grimtor, closes the door after showing Alec where the birds were, and Bonnie's like, "Oh, none for me. I'm not much of a drinker, but my husband, he does like that stuff. So, feel free to partake, Grimtor." Grimtor walks up right next to you, Greg, and plops down and kind of like sees a mug on the ground. Actually, picks the mug up off the ground, looks into it, kind of takes his tunic and kind of like wipes the rim of the mug, and then plops it right in front of you.
I take my little pony keg out and uncork it and pour him a glass, and I unclip my tankard off of my belt and sit it on the table and pour myself a glass.
This is my own brew. I've been kind of working on it. It needs a little bit. Tell me if you can tell me what it is.
Grimtor happily takes the brew, gives it a good taste. You kind of see him swishing it in his mouth, and then kind of spits it back into the cup, kind of smells it, and then drinks again. And then he swallows and he says, That's that kind of brew. That's got potential. It's not quite there yet, but it's got some great potential. I can tell. Have you thought about adding maybe some nice little excuse me, some nice little good berries?
The good berries? Do you have those here?
Nah, I don't have any here. I know when those ranger folk that travel, to and fro from Thenshot in the wilderness, sometimes they do bring good berries with them. I've tasted a couple when they come through. They offer, and those some damn sweet, good tasting berries. I swear that's like some Asian. That's some elfin. That is some elfin. That's some elven kind of fruit, because that is some decadently sweet fruit, and I think your brew could benefit from it.
Well, thank you, mate. I'll have to keep an eye out for these good berries. Do you think you could tell me what they look like?
Sure. You see, they look like normal berries, except that they have a bit of a blue tinge to them. And oddly enough, every berry that I've seen when those ranger folk are passing by, those berries are very smooth, almost like there's some kind of magical conjured berries. But I mean, come on, magic, really?
Yeah, I know what you mean about that magic stuff, mate. Don't pay any mind to it.
Yeah. You see, you know what I'm talking. And as you're saying this, he kind of like nudges you and continues to drink from.
Yeah, I drink as well.
Yeah.
Just trying to like keep his mind off of starting a coup.
Sure.
Do you got any interesting herbs or plants around here?
Like barley?
Like anything growing around in this area, the farmlands, just whether it be unique or not, medicinal properties and whatnot.
Is that what you are? You a medicine man? Are you a medicine bird? Is that what you are?
I dabble a little bit.
Excuse me. Yeah, I think I got something that I think is unique to Pernrith. See, we got. Hey, Bonnie, can you grab some of those? Can you grab some of those angel peppers that we grow? I'll be right back one quick second. I got a phone call.
Okay.
Hey, Magnon, don't you know that's one of my favorite songs?
Trying to remember the lyrics. I know it was something drinking, something passing out, fighting. It's a great song, really.
A song of my people. It brings me right back. I couldn't even tell you how many taverns I've passed out in my life.
Yeah.
Such is the Dwarven way, I guess.
If you're not passed out at a tavern, you're doing something wrong.
That's what they said.
Dwarves go to think.
I just wish my father'd be around to see me pass out now. He'd be so proud.
Awkward silence ensues.
Especially when the DM leaves.
Send him to voicemail. Let me see if I can find some dwarven music.
Is there such a thing?
is from Dragon Age Origins, I think.
Holy shit, that is so crazy. I was just looking up the same YouTube video. Or it might be the same. I don't know. Hold on a second. This is the one I was just listening to. But it's epic and legendary dwarf music.
I'll play it over the stream.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Give us some atmosphere. That was really loud.
For Cosmodon!
Play it in a little short. Oh, that probably won't get. I probably won't get a copyright on that one. I gotta be careful with what I play. We'll mute parts of my stream.
Slap your wrist if you play something that's got copyright.
Yeah, yeah. You play anything that's owned by any of the major record labels or like World Media Group or anything like that, and we'll just mute your stream.
Alright, back. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Angel Pepper. So Bonnie kind of goes, gets up and goes to the kitchen and comes back out with a excuse me. It's not really a pepper, but you know she's kind of showing it to you, Alec. It's a dark gray, thick root. Roll me intelligence, Alec, real quick.
Intelligence?
Yeah. You're proficient with an herbalist kit, right?
I am, yes.
Okay. So you rolled 4 plus proficiency. Okay. Okay, so you've seen this before, but never in this area. You don't know what this is called, and you don't know what it does. But you've seen this. You've actually like visually seen this. Like out in the more like Arctic kind of areas, more closer towards like the Great Northern Barrier, where it's more colder. It's not a pepper of any kind. It's a dark gray, thick root. That's really about all I can tell you with that. But Bonnie shows it to you, Alec, and she says, "Yeah, this is what we call angel pepper. You see, we excuse me, we use this, and it she kind of looks over at Grimtor. She says, it kind of makes us feel a lot floaty."
Floaty, eh?
Grimtor speaks up. "Yeah, floaty. We grow it here in our garden. I'm sure you saw our garden out in the courtyard. My grandpa, he brought this these seeds out from the mountains up north. So you can't get any from this particular area. You see, they only grow up north. But we got some flowering peppers out here in our garden."
Oh, that's wonderful, mate. You think there's any chance I can get maybe 6 of them from you?
Yeah, for you folks, I'll give you more than 6. Bonnie, wrap this bird boy up a nice bundle of those angel peppers, will you? And she goes back to the kitchen, and you can see her going to work and kind of, getting more of those roots and putting them kind of like in a cloth, wrapping them up, and she hands them to you, Alec. You can go ahead and put. Excuse me. Hold on 1 second. You can put. Like 10 angel peppers is what they're calling it. So you can put 10 angel peppers. But I will put angel peppers in quotes, though.
Okay.
Is this conversation taking place in the main room with everyone?
Yes.
So, you say floaty. Is it something that you would use as a prescription if hurting? I don't understand the floaty.
You see, we bite into them and give them a good chew, and we just feel a little bit lighter. I ain't no flower man or what do you call them folk that?
Would you describe it like similar to if you had a little bit too much ale, too much grog, too much meat?
No, not necessarily. See, that's the kicker. Yes, you feel light, almost like you could fly, but you don't feel like you're intoxicated or like high off of that some of that more volatile herbs.
So, have you ever taken in things and jumped off the roof to see if you fly?
No, that's crazy talk. That's like saying that this angel pepper here is like some kind of magic, pepper. You see, that can't be true. Like magic? Come on.
Okay, so it just gives you the feeling of being lighter. Well, if you take and bite into one of these things and jump up in the air, you don't stay up in the air for a little bit longer?
Actually, Greg, give me because you're proficient in nature.
Yes,
roll nature
sir.
for me.
It will be at a +3. You have an 8, sir.
All right. Greg, in your travels and your proficiency with nature, in your quest for the perfect brew, you've definitely seen these before. You can't recall what their proper name is, but you do know.
Have I experimented with them?
Oh, in your youth?
yeah, let's say you experimented with them, and they gave you that. They give you that feeling of, you just feel really light. And you've had you just can't, for whatever reason, you can't recall the proper name of it, but you know that it's often used in alchemy to create potions of flying.
Oh yes, I've seen those before. I can't rightly recall the name, but I have brewed with them a little bit. I think I've heard some alchemists say that they use those for the flying potions.
Oh, that's right, alchemist. That's what I was thinking. Those magic drink mixes.
Hey, bruv, would you like me to top off your ale?
I'd certainly like that. Puts the mug right back next to you.
And it's filled up.
That was mighty fine, sir. Do tell your wife thank you.
Oh, of course. Body this man. He says thank you.
And I tell her in Dwarven, that it was a delicious meal and thank you.
Oh, there's no reason to be all proper. We speaking in common right now, mate.
Your dialect. It sounds like you're a mountain dwarf. Is that right?
Aye.
Yeah. That's all well and good. Yeah, I never really had much liking for some mountains. I'm more of a hill dwarf myself. I like being out here in the open lands.
It's a beautiful land.
Amen,
to say the least.
sister.
But I'm sure your mountains are really nice. I heard that forgetting the name of my own dwarf city. There it is. I heard Avala survived the Great Collapse.
A statement or a question?
A
Sounds
little
like
bit
a
of both.
question.
Yeah. Be right back. I'm sorry. Be right back. One second. I'm back.
Welcome back.
I want to break up one of the peppers that I got.
Okay.
Using the mortar and pestle, and kind of take my, I guess it would be tobacco, whatever I've been smoking out of my pipe, and kind of blend it with whatever this stuff is.
Ooh, make a stogie.
Yeah, and
You give the new meaning to the word high.
and then I want to
gotta
I
figure
do
that
want to
out.
put it together so it can actually be smoked through a pipe.
Dude,
I'm flying. I approach the group and I say, "All right, guys, I've got a suggestion of how we might be able to get some insight. Now, this is just going off on a limb here, but it might just work considering all the things that have been going on around here. I say we isolate ourselves a little bit, get into some kind of confined area where we can't be seen. We're all together in the same place. We get a bowl of water. Just any old bowl. It doesn't have to be the cauldron that Mael got. And we take some of this herb. And I've got a feeling that what these people are describing might be perception on a different level. And it might just be worth getting the insight. And if none of you are okay with it, I'm willing to do it myself.
I understand what you're proposing.
I'm proposing getting a step ahead. It feels like every time we've been on this trip so far, something's in front of us, like just knows we're coming. He's already told us about the birds that have been flying around and that one odd bird that we saw as well. What if something is one step ahead of us at all times, but we have a chance to gain some kind of advantage?
So how do we gain the advantage?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is very experimental. I've only heard of it through my old flock and read in different kinds of books when I was by myself a lot. Just trying to see into different perspectives like many different shamanistic tribes might.
Well, I think I'd like to accompany you on that journey.
All right then. Anyone else?
Yeah, I got nothing to do for the next 6 hours. I'll do it.
All right. So what I'd like to do is there an area around us right now where there's like maybe an enclosed barn or something?
Definitely. A Grimtor mentions that he's not going to partake, but he definitely opens up his barn, which is empty at the moment. Opens up his barn for you. He's not looking down on you or anything. He's just not partaking. But he does open up his barn and says, "Feel free to, have your little smoking magic. See what happens."
Okay. So who all is doing this?
Greg.
And Max.
Just the three of you.
Okay.
I think
I was
somebody.
trying to see if
I think somebody needs to come and chaperone us in case something happens. Maybe write down some notes.
definitely.
Avaldor,
Is anyone willing
participate.
to be the observer?
So we'll observe.
All right, Avaldor's the babysitter.
Thanks, mate.
Make sure you write down any spooky stuff we might say.
All right, so I head to the barn, and I kind of get my mortar and pestle ready, and kind of make the mixture, the blend as best as I can.
I drink one last cup of ale while we're getting ready.
Okay.
Let's see. There's 3 of us, so actually I want to break up 2 more out of the 10, leaving me with 7.
Okay. And you said you're using a mortar and pestle to grind it up?
Right, to kind of break it up more so it can it's kind of malleable, where you can actually put it into a pipe.
Sure. Now, do you have a mortar and pestle? Because I don't think an herbalist comes with that.
Actually, yes. Hold on. Yeah, herbalism kit has clippers, mortar and pestle, pouches, vials.
Perfect. Okay. I thought it was only alchemist kit. Okay, then go ahead and roll me. Roll me a wisdom check with proficiency.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you take the angel pepper and you kind of break it up in your mortar and pestle, and you've got it broken up exactly how you want it. Nothing. You didn't make it too coarse and make it too fine. It's good to go.
Okay, I want everybody to look inside. Oh, did we get the dish of water? I didn't even think about that. Did we bring
Yeah,
a bowl with us?
that's water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I set it in the center. All right, everybody. Now I want you to just try to relax as best you can. Whatever we see, whatever we feel, just know it isn't real. And I proceed to go ahead and light it up and pass it around.
Okay.
I
So-
like to get high,
Remind
so
me who
high.
all. So I know Mags, Greg, and Alec are participating. Was there a chaperone? Was there someone watching?
Avaldor.
Yes, Avaldor.
I need the 3 participants to. I see Magnar typing. How could this go wrong? Okay. I need the 3 participants to roll me a Constitution save.
Con save.
Duh.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
Magnar and Crag. Both of you, you feel pretty good. You don't feel high, but you do feel really good. You feel really light. You feel like you could possibly fly. Alec, you definitely feel like you can fly. You even feel the urge to test this theory.
And I want to.
Remember, a duck starts flying from the ground, not the top of the barn.
Yeah, I'm going to try to concentrate and just see if there's some way I can elevate myself into the air, even just a little bit.
Sure. Roll me a another Constitution save. Just
Oh
you.
Lord, these aren't good.
Okay. You feel like you are really like floating. You feel like you feel like you do feel elevated. You feel like you're off the ground. Avaldor, in your eyes, Alec is still on the ground. It looks like Alex is just like trying to jump or something, but he's definitely on the ground.
So it looks like he's like he's flapping his wings or anything like that. I mean,
Yeah, like he's like flapping his wings, like she's like kind of like trying to fly, but he's like definitely on the ground.
Grounded.
Alec, you feel like you're floating. You feel like you've taken off.
Okay, I want to look down into the bowl of water.
Looking into the bowl of water. It's just you.
Yes.
Looking into the bowl of water, you see a blue-skinned woman. Blue skin, deep blue hair. Her hair moves and shimmers in a way that reminds you of the sea. Her on top of her head, she wears a crown inlaid with several sapphires. In her lap is it's a violin. A very deep blue, almost crystal-looking violin. I mean, you can't be too sure because this is a vision, but it looks like it's a crystal violin. And then the bow, though, of the violin. She's holding it. And she's not playing it. Like I said, it's in her lap. She's holding this bow, and the bow kind of shimmers. Wherever the light source is, every time it hits the bow just kind of glimmers. And you begin to hear this music. And only you, Alex, you're the one looking into it. Only you hear this music. And you hear this music, and it's the most beautiful concerto you have ever heard. It brings you to tears, just how beautiful this concerto is.
Do I notice anything about this woman that would give me some familiarity as to her background at all? Like maybe what race she is, or any feeling I get from her that I might have, I might be.
You've never seen anyone quite like her, except for possibly Male. You're a companion.
Okay. I'll look up at Male. Is Mal in the Male in the room?
Where are you, Male?
No,
Oh,
I'm outside.
I run outside to Male.
Okay.
And I mimic the tune I heard playing on the violin. Using my voice as best as I can.
Clever. Okay.
You're super high, so you're not doing what you...
He spun around, looked into a bowl, started crying, and then ran outside. I have no clue what's going on.
Give me a performance check. Okay. To your ears, Alec, it sounds an exact mimicry of what you heard. Male, some of the notes are definitely off, but what he's playing, this concerto that he's mimicking, you've heard it before in your homeland. It's the song of the royal family. I'll leave that one as it is.
I want to cast light on my fingertip.
Okay.
I want to kind of put my hand on his shoulder, and I say, "Follow my finger closely," and I move it across and back across his eyes to see if his eyes are trailing.
Are they?
Roll me Constitution.
Oh, shoot.
They are.
How do you know that? How do you know that song?
I seen it and I heard it in the water, like you did that night. I just wanted to prove that it was real. It ain't just in our heads.
I thought we said we're gonna stop talking about water.
That was a pretty significant moment, wouldn't you say? I mean, out of all the things that have happened here...
Okay, start over. How do you hear this?
How do I what? Oh,
How do you hear it?
through the water, mate. In the bow, you know? Kind of like you saw in the cauldron.
Sound came from water.
Yes. Sound and sights. A woman. And she had this deep blue skin and blue hair and this crystal-like blue violin in her lap with the shimmery bow.
With my hand still resting on his shoulder, I say to him, "Best forget anything water shows you. Water lies."
Okay, I'm a little shocked on hearing this, and I go back in to check on the others. See what they're going through.
Lest we forget, I had an exorcist session. I
just whip
threw
my
the
whispers
cauldron in the water.
Do what?
Oh. Yeah, I continue on with my my dissuading you of paying attention to that.
Okay.
It's,
What
just-
about the others that are still inside the barn?
What are you guys doing? Like, I know I got you. Actually, you feel light.
I've sat down next to Greg.
Mhm.
Boy, I don't think I feel as good as Alec feels. You got any more of that ale?
Yeah, I think I do, mate.
I uncork my keg and look into it. It's about half full. I'm gonna go ahead and pour a glass for Mayo. Sorry, Mags.
I try to stop them in the process and get them to look into the water.
I completely ignore him.
Okay.
I look at him, and then I look into my cup of ale.
Okay. Looking into your cup of ale. Well, first I need. Did you drink, Greg and Magnar?
Not yet. I was about to.
Oh, have I drank the ale?
Yeah.
Yes.
You just poured.
Oh
Okay.
no. Not since we smoked.
Okay. Okay. So Magnar.
Responsible. I like that.
Looking into your cup, as Alec is trying to get you to look into the bowl of water, you instead look into the cup, and what you see, is just to briefly go over it. You see exactly what you see exactly what I described to Alec. The woman, the violin, except your eyes are even drawn more towards the violin. You have never seen you've never seen an instrument so finely crafted, so beautiful. You just cannot take your eyes off that instrument.
I am currently staring into a cup. Slightly mystified.
Do I know?
I was in the middle of, kind of talking to Alec about looking into water, and then I'm just spacing out in a cup now. Guys, I think it's hitting me.
I look over at Mags and see him looking in the cup. I look inside of Mags's cup.
So, Greg, you look into the cup, and excuse me. You see.
Do I see those fine amber tones in my ale?
You see yourself holding a pony keg, but not your own pony keg. It's a different pony keg, and you see yourself being surrounded by many people cheering you on as you hold your pony keg above you. A grin all on your face, excited as you kind of raise your pony keg, kind of like waving it like you kind of like holding like a victory cup, and everyone else is just cheering you on. The crowd is just riled up. Everyone seems really excited.
I start kind of chanting under the
Go, Craig. Go, Craig.
I start chanting with him. Go, Greg. Go, Greg. Go, Greg.
And this is what you're seeing, Alwood. I mean, you don't know what they're seeing, but you're seeing them do these chanting and staring into cups and everything.
In my excitement, I throw my hands up and I knock Mags's cup out of his hands, and I say, "Yeah, Greg!"
No, Greg!
The cup spills onto the ground, the ale, spilling across the dirt, absorbing into the sand, or the dirt, or absorbing into the dirt. it instantly breaks your transfixion with the violin, Mags. And the music you were hearing, like I said, it was just a beautiful concerto. You never heard anything so perfect in your life. It's almost jarring once the song is over. You no longer feel like you can fly. You actually feel really sad, as if you had just left the most perfect dream you had ever experienced.
I want to try to just make mental notes of the song, really.
Okay.
Just sit there and keep playing it in my head.
Roll me intelligence.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's about what I expected.
Mail was outside when I mimicked the song, or did I do it in the barn?
You were outside.
I was outside.
I do have a question. With the information that you messaged me, how would I glean that with just the mimicry?
Because he described it to you, right? Like he physically described.
He described the song.
Although you also described the person you saw, Alec.
Yes, the person I saw with the type of violin and everything and the shimmery bow.
Okay.
It was the
I thought it was just a song.
Yeah, it was the violin.
No.
The song did.
I tried to mimic the song, the notes as best as I could.
The violin is what really triggered the light bulb in your head.
Okay, fair enough.
Ragnar,
being on the seas, would I have heard that royal song before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I know what it is. Well, the song.
Well, you don't know what it is, but you definitely heard it before.
Gotcha.
In fact, roll me a history check real fast. I'd roll it for you, but I'm like, eating at the moment. Nice. There we go.
Holy shit.
So the story for that song essentially goes that this song is used to charm sailors into, as a siren song is essentially what it is.
That's a creepy royal family song, but alright.
You don't know about the royal family part.
Oh, okay. Totally cool.
But you do know, like, the song, you do know...
Wait, is it the same song?
It's the same song, correct.
Oh, Jesus.
It's definitely a siren song. It's you recognize it as a siren song. But as far as your memory check goes, you are able to, kind of contain it in your memory. It might not be perfect. You might get a couple notes here and there wrong, but for the most part, you think you could probably play it back if you had to.
These watery visions, they can't be right.
There's obviously something about him, because I'm having visions about somebody else's life.
I think that'll be the last time I pursue staring into water.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, mate.
I don't quite know how to feel. I saw myself being championed by a group of people.
That's freaking awesome, man. How come we didn't get anything good like that?
It's something I've always wanted.
I heard
So
the
maybe
same
it's-
song as when I lost my crew.
Really? It must be linked to our deepest desires. That sounded so freaking cheesy.
That's
But
very
I don't
meta
have a
of you.
desire to see my crew die again.
If the bowl of water hasn't been knocked over, I dump it out.
Okay.
And just abandon this fool's errand.
Sure. As you dump it out, whatever feeling of flight that you guys had is now it's pretty much faded now.
It's one way to kill a high.
I'm so buzzing.
I would be if I had drank that grog. Wait.
You want to drink Greg's grog, do you?
Oh no.
So as you guys, have finished your your prayer circle in the barn, the afternoon begins to shift towards night.
Has he put us in the barn? Is that where we're intending on staying?
No, he put you in the barn because Alec wanted the space to toke it up. He's offered you a place to stay, like, in his home.
I want to pull Mail and Avaldor aside.
Okay.
I approach Mail first. I say,
Mayo, I need to talk to you. You and Avaldor.
Everything okay?
It's something the old farmer said earlier.
Okay.
I walk Mail towards Avaldor and I say a similar thing to Avaldor and try to get them into a semi-secluded spot.
I know you guys are both dwarves, and I'm a very, very water justy, so.
Well, I just want to pull you guys aside to where, like...
Right, but if we're in this dwarven house, there's probably not a lot of places I can go that would be inconspicuous.
No, I don't want to be necessarily inconspicuous, but quiet might be a better word.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, if you're just looking for a quiet place, you found one. It's kind of on the side of the barn. It's not like obscure where you're hidden, but it's definitely quiet.
So, do you remember the farmer talking about the 4 kings?
No.
Avaldor?
The little girl. Little girl.
Do you remember the farmer talking about them?
I don't remember the farmer, but I remember the giggling girl saying that the 4 kings wanted.
It's like you guys only pay attention.
Well, Mail didn't pay attention. Mail was too busy killing things.
Killing what?
Things.
We haven't killed anything today.
I was outside when you guys were talking.
Oh, that's true.
Well,
Well,
squirrels.
maybe I was directing that comment more towards Avaldor.
That's fair. And out of character, yeah, he did mention it.
Yeah, it was mentioned earlier. Avaldor. So we'll pretend like your character knows what I'm talking about.
Mail has no idea what you're talking about, but he's all ears.
Hello?
Go ahead. I'm nodding in agreement.
Well, Corey just said hello for some reason.
You there, Corey?
Hello?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Enter.
I feel like Discord's having more and more issues lately.
What would be the alternative?
Can you hear us, Corey?
The alternative would be Corey to download the actual app.
Yes, that would be the alternative. You are correct. That's never gonna happen, though.
I do not understand you, Corey.
Are you back, Corey?
Yeah, I already have the app.
Not like the computer app.
Okay, but an app is an app.
The connectivity, there's connectivity issues if you're doing it through the browser
Yeah.
or your phone.
I mean, other people have had connectivity issues tonight as well. Most nights I don't have problems.
Okay, so go ahead and continue. Because we are starting to come up on the last hour of our session. So go ahead and continue, Greg.
Well, do you remember that girl that met us in the woods the other night? She mentioned that she wanted us to meet her 4 kings. You reckon those might be the same ones?
How many kings could there be?
Aye, has to be the same one.
Are you starting to think this might be all a little weird? Maybe we're being strung along by something. Last night we meet a girl in the woods who tried to kill us.
Only after the Sid.
What was that? I'm sorry.
So the giggling girl. Yeah, until Sid.
Will you tell that to the arrow that almost struck my head, mate?
What about Sid? What did you say about?
So I said
Yeah.
that the little girl somehow became enraged after the interaction with Sid.
Oh yeah.
Pointing fingers. That's not the purpose of the conversation, and it's not meant to be stated in that way. It basically just says that.
No, I just didn't hear you. You broke up a little.
Yeah, she wasn't aggressive. Then there was some interaction, and she became aggressive. Now, why it was said or what she perceived or whatever triggered it, but she wasn't hostile. Like if you walked upon a wolf, it attacks you. It doesn't, out with you like she did.
Ghost girl is wolf?
I'm assuming that was all out of character, right, Mike?
Yeah, that was all out of
Okay.
character. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah.
But wasn't she hostile from the start?
Okay, if we're gonna do this out of character, I'm gonna say something. She fucking sent tentacles after us.
Yeah, I would.
I don't care what Sid said to her. You don't try to kill somebody after they say something
Yeah,
to you.
can we please just get back into character? I mean,
Did I? Well, no, I'm not remembering the same way you guys. I don't remember interacting with her until the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and because like I said, we're on our last hour. Let's go ahead and keep it in character, and we can talk out of character stuff after the game. Go ahead,
Well, basically, what I was getting at was that the farmers now mention these same 4 kings that the girl threatened us with. And during that same encounter last night, Male saw tentacles in the direction where she came from.
Mm-hmm.
Now I reckon that tentacles might have been where we're standing now. I'm not feeling so good about where we're at, mate.
This may be true, but it's dark outside. Where do you suggest we go?
I'm just saying we need to be careful. I find it quite ominous that the farmer mentioned those kings.
Well, how did he mention them? Did he mention them as a warning, or just dropped in conversation, or what?
It's just quite odd it was brought up at all. I doubt people would go around talking about 4 undead kings that are terrorizing people.
Maybe urban legend? Maybe myth?
In context, I'd asked him about the castle. Trying not to give away what our journey was all about. That we were looking after the party that was heading northwest. He was the one that mentioned the castle. Haunted the tomb of the king killer, and that's when he went to the story about the 4 kings. My guess is that's probably the standard story that everybody around here probably would know or recognize. Imagine that it's the same for the kings.
I'm just saying, you don't normally meet a murderous girl in the woods at night who talks about those same kings.
Again, I don't think she was a girl. I think she was a misling.
Semantics.
My guess is that it's an evil thing to begin with.
Point point being, we need to be careful around these parts.
I'm always careful. I didn't even drink soup.
If you remember, so we have the 2 mastiffs. We were able to bargain for something that helps us add a little bit more security.
I don't want to get too bogged down. That's basically what I want to get on. I don't want to bog it down too much.
I understand your concern, and I agree.
Ditto. I agree that there's definitely a need for the concern, and obviously there's a coincidence between the 4 kings. But my guess is it's probably pretty common.
It's not common. Jay says it's
Rumor at this point.
It's rumor, so I mean, take that for what it is. But I mean, never mind.
I guess what I'm trying to make out of character is that it's probably a common rumor, or it's the common theme that if somebody mentioned castle, I'm guessing, and this is just a guess, supposition, that everybody would say it's haunted and they've heard the story about the 4 kings. Maybe not, but that would be. It brings up the subject of the castle, comes up with the same story.
Correct. To clarify, it's a common ghost story in the area. Like
That's what I was trying to allude to. Sorry.
Yeah, we have we have our own ghost stories here in Houston. It's just a common ghost story.
But I mean, like, it's not like we would know that, so it's like
Right.
it's not out of
Right. So yeah, some of you guys
suspicious.
aren't from the area. So.
Right. I'm trying
Oh.
to I'm trying to say things from my character's perspective.
Right.
Yeah. So go ahead, continue on.
Okay. So
I
no,
actually-
that's all I wanted to
I
get
would,
out. I don't want to keep getting out of character. I just want to keep moving forward.
How many days out you figure we are from this Castle Castiglione?
3.
3 days left.
Aye.
As the night kind of continues on, you notice that the mists are starting to kind of like return, kind of starting to swell. On the outside, it's not like invading, and like invading like inside the house or anything. It's just the mists are kind of returning as the night kind of goes on.
So are the 3 dope heads back grounded yet, or are they
Yes.
still
we've
flying?
been talking.
Are we close enough to where we can see the waterline, the coastline right now?
No.
You're nowhere near the coast. You're pretty far northwest. Yeah.
That's why I got lost in the forest looking
Yeah.
for it.
Okay. All right.
So out of character, I'd make a
recommendation.
recommendation we get inside and secure ourselves for the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
What time is it? You said it was. I think you said it was dusk, but like, are we like?
For abstract purposes, it's night.
Okay.
Greg is on high alert after what happened last night, and I actually don't. I want to keep watch, like directly outside of where we're at.
Okay.
Whatever building it is.
So the Grimtor, he did offer the farmstead, or not the farmstead, but he did offer his farmhouse to you guys.
Yeah, Mail's gonna go out to the farmhouse because I don't think I could sleep in a dwarf bed.
Okay. Yeah. So the farmhouse is there. He did also offer the barn if that's you prefer a little bit more privacy, but otherwise, you are more than welcome to stay wherever you like.
I suggest we stay together. You can keep one of the dogs in with us, and we can leave the other dog outside with.
Yeah, I'll keep one of the dogs outside with me.
Aye.
Is there like a chair or something I can put outside, like by the door, where I can sit with the dog?
Yeah, sure, of
Okay.
course.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
A wooden rocker.
So you guys gonna go ahead and call it a night?
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will take 0 watches.
Okay. Are you guys it sounds like Greg. It sounds like Greg. You're taking a watch.
I'm gonna take at least 2 watches.
At least 2 watches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm bordering on paranoia at this point.
That's fine. The way the time things are set up, and the way the watches are set up, and the way I actually was to change long rest is it's 6 hours instead of 8, just so it works out perfectly with my time slots. I only need essentially that leaves 3 watch slots. So if you want to take 2 of the watch slots, that leaves 1 watch slot open.
Yeah, that's fine.
Salvador's take another one.
Okay. So I need. Okay, and then with that in mind, Sid, Alec, Mail, and I know what you're doing, Magnar. Sid, Alec, and Mail. Where are you? Are you guys in the farmhouse, in the barn? Where did you guys want to stay?
I'm gonna go to the farm. I'm gonna go to the barn.
Okay.
I'm gonna get. Well, weren't we all gonna stay in the same place?
Mel is his own person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's true. True.
The farmhouse does have nicer accommodations, but they are dwarf size.
Yes, and if I'm gonna sleep on the floor, I'd rather sleep on like some hay or something. And I don't think they'd appreciate me.
Can I see the barn?
Yeah, you can definitely see the barn.
Okay,
yep.
So I can see.
You're in you're just outside the farmhouse, right?
Yeah. I just want to be where I can have a good overlook over at least where John's sleeping and where the rest of the party's sleeping.
Yeah, it's like no more than maybe 10 or 20 feet. It's not that far.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sleeping in the barn.
Okay.
I'd like to set up some kind of just sound trap nearby, just in case anything gets close to us.
Sure. What are you using?
I want to use just rope and hold on a second. Let me check my thieves. Yeah, I'm gonna use my thieves tools.
Okay.
And just kind of tie up some rope. Basically, just a rudimentary thing that can, like a bell.
Sure. And where are you setting? Where are you setting it up? And the entrance,
yeah, kind of in front of the entrance to the barn.
Okay.
Maybe a foot away.
Okay. Roll me intelligence.
Can I help him for advantage?
Are you proficient in these tools?
No.
Then you may not.
But I'm good at helping.
Okay. And then Sid, where did you decide to stay?
I'll stay in the barn.
In the barn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So really, it's only well, Alvador. While you're not on watch, where are you staying? Are you staying in the barn as well?
Oh, I was staying in the house.
Okay. So I need So Alvador and Greg, are you taking your watch back to back?
Yes, I'm gonna take the first 2.
Okay. Then I need you to roll me perception at disadvantage. Okay. So the night goes, and you stay up the 4 hours of your watch back to back, just with the hound or the mastiff who is asleep at your side. He hasn't perked his ears up. He's been pretty quiet about halfway through your watch. You hear a howl very far away. It doesn't sound like anywhere close to you. It sounds pretty distant. Very similar to the howl you heard when you were first in Thensha, the werewolf howls.
Mm-hmm.
So you recognize what possibly the beast could be. Sounds very similar. The mastiff kind of pokes its ears up, listens, kind of looks around.
Does it have a collar on or anything?
It does not have a collar.
Okay.
Kind of looking around. Doesn't make any movements, but it does stay awake with you through the rest of your watch. The howling does continue. every once in a while. Not very common, but it does happen every once in a while.
Do
But
the how can I could I discern about how far away the howls are coming from?
let me see here. No, you can't.
Well, then,
It sounds far away. It's got to be at least like 10 miles at least.
would I be able to know if the howls are getting if the sequential howls are getting louder?
You would, and they don't
Okay.
sound like they're getting louder.
Okay.
But your watch continues on without any occurrence. Alvador coming up, tapping you on the shoulder, letting you know that he'll take over the last 2 hours. I'll get to you in a second, Alvador. To rewind just slightly, Sid, Male, and Alec. Yeah. As you guys are asleep or going to bed in the barn, you do hear Alec and Mel. You both are very familiar with it. Sid, you haven't heard it, but when you do hear it, you're just overcome with. You're not overcome. The melody of this concerto sounds really beautiful, even if there are a couple notes that just sound kind of off. But you do hear this beautiful concerto. Male and Alec, you've heard it before, and it seems to be coming from Magnar, who is practicing the song.
I get up and go over to Magnar and try to like whatever notes he may not be perfectly hitting, try to mimic them as best as I can to help him learn better, I guess.
Okay. Mal, Sid, you guys just continue to get your rest.
The sound lulls me to sleep.
Okay. Sid?
I mean, I don't know anything about this. It's just someone practicing music.
Okay. So you don't go talk to him or anything. You just let it go.
Where is Bag?
What am I gonna say? He's just practicing his music.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you're curious about this. I don't know.
I like
but
that
yeah,
too.
Yeah, if you don't, I mean, if it's
I mean, you don't have to comment on everything.
I want to leave the space open if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to just continue on. Okay. Mag and okay. Well, let me say this. Mag Mag is in the barn. I think you asked that, Alvador. Mags, you continue to play through the night. Alec, are you gonna stay up the rest of the night with him?
Yes.
Okay. So
Alec, I enjoy the company. I do, but you don't have to stay up. You've been great company so far, though. Thank you.
It's such a catchy tune, though. And besides, I'm thinking maybe you can perfect it.
I hope that I can. I hope I can do this song the justice it deserves.
Well, maybe you should get some sleep too, then.
Nah, don't worry about me. Just get some rest.
I pat him on the shoulder and I go lay down for the night.
Okay. I'm just slightly rewinding back. I mean, Greg, while you're on your watch, you heard the wolf howling, but you also heard the music, and it's a nice lull. But otherwise, Magnar, since you're staying up the whole night, you do not benefit from a long rest. Alvador, you go ahead and tap Greg out to switch guard shifts. So I need a perception check from you. Okay. All right. So Alvaldor, as you take over for Greg, the Mastiff kind of giving you a sniff as Greg gets up and leaves, and you take the seat as the Mastiff is laying on the ground, ears perked up, just kind of listening. Doesn't seem too alerted or anything. You also, Alvaldor, hear the howling of the wolves. Again, a familiar howling. You've heard it before with the werewolves back in Thensha, or the werewolf in Thensha.
Okay.
But it sounds far. It's got to be at least 10 miles out. It sounds far out. It doesn't even sound like it's getting close because it's not getting louder.
Okay.
And it's not very common. It just happens throughout the night. But in addition to that, you do notice far, far off the horizon, you see, other than the mist, you do see, like, in the sky, it seems like really, it seems darker than usual. Almost like there's like a storm brewing far to the northwest, further down where your road leads.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, your night goes without any occurrence.
Is this literally the Song of Storms?
What?
So is this literally the Song of Storms?
I mean, you'll see.
Just thinking out loud.
But the night passes, and dawn begins to break. A couple hours or near the end of your shift, Alvaldor, as a couple hours into dawn, the mists begin to start to recede, kind of start to disappear. The sun far off in the horizon in the dark clouds, hidden by the dark clouds, is starting to slowly crest the horizon. It's not quite sunrise yet, but it's starting to get there.
And the dark clouds, the unusual dark clouds in the northwest, is that still predominant or more predominant now that daylight has come?
Now that daylight has come, yeah, it's more and more, it's more predominant, and it definitely tells you that there's got to be a storm up ahead.
And this wasn't. I mean, it doesn't look like it's sitting over an area. It looks like a storm front.
Right, storm front, yeah.
Okay.
And it looks like it's moving in this direction, but you can't be too sure. It just seems that way. Just give it off your perception roll.
What's the wind direction? Wind direction and speed.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
So Marek, I called the attention of Marek for the area.
Of who? I'm sorry.
Isn't it Marek? What's his name? The dwarf. Sorry, Bonnie and. And it wasn't Marek?
No, Grimtor. Marek was the halfling.
Grimtor. Sorry.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
So Grimtor, the one that's blowing up in the northwest, is this something common for this time of the year here?
Grimtor gives a stretch. He's clearly just woken up. He just wanted to check up on you. He kind of, as you ask him the question, he kind of holds his hand over his eyes, kind of peering out to the horizon. Oh, that ain't too common, but that looks like one of them funny storms with the purple light.
What do you mean by the purple light?
They don't happen too often, but every once in a while a storm passes through the area. Not like any other normal storm, with like lightning and rain. The lightning from this storm is more of like this purple flash. I've seen it kind of scorch the earth in some really powerful strikes. I wouldn't get too close to that storm. If that's coming this way, that's a sign that probably best to avoid it or go around it. But I that's something I wouldn't pass through. Those kind of storm. That's a dangerous storm.
So how long do the storms typically last?
Oh, they last good. They last for quite a while. It just depends on how far they pass through. But if I had to give you an estimate, I'd probably say a good couple hours, maybe like 3 or 4, or something like that.
So I guess we need to see if we just want to hunker down and let the storm pass the road and
Go ahead.
or to get on the road and be caught in the storm.
You're more than welcome if you want to hunker down. You're more than welcome to stay. But judging about how far that storm is, again, he holds up his hand, kind of looking over the horizon. I'd say it'll probably be that storm probably hit the area probably around nightfall or maybe even morning the next day. That's a pretty far out storm, and those storms kind of move a little slow. If you're in a hurry, you could probably move through the storm, but I'd just, make some haste through it.
So I guess Alvaro will call a round table discussion and see, feels about moving forward or spending another day.
Well, we know what happened last time we tried to push it through something bad.
From here on out, we don't have a gentle to help us put a roof over our heads or feed us a nice bowl of hot vegetable stew.
I've kind of been thinking about making this my new home, leaving up the invention wife. I quite like it here. It's peaceful.
So, since we're a group, to everybody see what they have to say.
As the group debates.
Crickets.
I don't think a breather's that bad. Let's take a day off.
I might want to see this storm up close.
Why not let storm come to us?
That's what I mean. I'm fine waiting it out.
Well, it looks like we're staying then. That's 3-on-3.
Am I awake to answer their question, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I mean, that's
You tell me.
Yeah, you
DJ
tell
called
me.
a round table, so I'm assuming that you either said, no, I'm staying asleep, or come to the table.
I didn't hear that part. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'll absolutely agree. I think we should wait it out instead of taking our chances and pushing any further.
Well, then we have a majority.
So then we'll wait it out?
Yep.
Yeah.
After the storm passes.
Just be patient.
Yeah, that's what they want you to think.
On the road again?
Grimtor speaks up. He
we've
says,
temporarily foiled your. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, Grimtor speaks up. He says, I think that's a wise decision. There are many people that try to go through a storm like that, and they don't have very much luck, you see. Those lightning flashes, like I said, they scorch the earth. You gotta be quick to move once you see the flash. Not many people around here that quick, so we tend to kind of just wait out the storms, but they can get a bit hectic, a bit dangerous. I'll tell you what, one of our neighbors, Pencham, that was his name, right, Bonnie? Pencham? Yeah, Pencham, his farmstead actually caught up on fire. Poor sucker, he got caught in that house. We didn't even find we didn't find any skin left on his bones. He was so roasted.
So I guess then we'll just have to wait it out. And again, we thank you for your hospitality.
Of course. My home is your home.
I think Greg has taken that to
Rancho Greg.
I might set up my own brewery here. Start me a little farm. Grow me own barley.
The Grimtor again kind of peers over the horizon, kind of rubs his forehead and says, "Yeah, we should be fine, I believe. As long as that storm doesn't hit us in the middle of the night. That's when things might get a little bit more than we might be able to handle. But I think our chances are good." He's obviously looking a little bit more nervous now.
obviously he doesn't know this DM.
Suddenly, my confidence in this farmer has gone way down. Oh, it's gonna be just fine unless it's not, and then we're all gonna die.
And of course it's gonna hit at night.
Did he say the man's skin got bloody burned off?
Yeah, it sure did. That poor pension, that bastard. He got roasted. That it was that bright purple flash. Then there was silence, and then his house just lit up in flames. I'll tell you what, though, if it wasn't such a tragedy, that was such a beautiful spectacle to see. Because that light, wow, I haven't seen anything like it.
Like ever or in a long time?
Oh, I'd probably say a long time. You see, I wasn't around before the collapse. See, I was born during the collapse. But as a child, these storms were pretty common during the collapse.
How old does this guy look?
He looks about 60.
Oh, okay.
Can I tell if he's lying to me?
You certainly can. Roll me insight.
I mean, you could try to figure it out. Whoa.
Wow. He's definitely not lying to you. He seems really really genuine.
Are we doing that now?
Doing what?
I thought we were doing the you keep it a secret now.
It's a little bit of both. There are some roles that I am doing behind the scenes that I don't tell you guys about. Some of the ones, it's just I'm so used to asking you guys for roles. So just bear with me as we slowly move towards it. But there are roles going on behind the scenes. So,
Okay.
but Alec, yeah, no, he's definitely telling the truth. In fact, as you're kind of like studying his movements and his tone from talking and whatnot, he, even though he is making a joke about how the light is just like this this beautiful spectacular fireworks show, you can definitely tell that he sounds a bit like really nervous, almost like. In fact, you can even see him sweat a little bit, but not in a way that he's lying. Like you definitely feel like he's not lying.
He's not lying, but at the same time, he's afraid.
Afraid. That's a better word. Yeah. That's the vibe you're getting. You're getting a vibe of fear.
I want to relay this information to Greg.
Okay.
Just kind of like pull him off to the side for a minute and just very quietly say it to him.
What exactly are you telling me?
Listen, man, I'm just getting a real solid vibe from this guy. I can, in my background, in my security experiences in the past, I can usually tell pretty well when a man's lying or not. And he seems genuine, but he also seems genuinely scared of something. I'm not sure what.
Greg ponders.
Do you think we need to inquire more onto it?
Well, I'm wondering if maybe halfway into the night we might not just, I might not just, get up and possibly check on his activities, make sure he's in place. But he definitely seems genuine. Like everything he's seen is he's been telling the truth.
Why is he so
It-
nervous then?
Well, I'm wondering if he's just trying to not make us nervous by what he knows about what might be coming in this storm and the flashes. They might be a lot more horrifying than he kind of jokes about, is all I'm saying.
This is all quite disturbing. I've been unsettled ever since we made foot in here.
And I feel the same way. I think at first light we need to do whatever we can to move out of here as fast as possible.
Greg nods and goes back to sipping ale or something.
As your conversation wraps up and you go back towards the group, you come in the middle of the conversation where always want to keep calling him Grimlock, but that's not his name. It's Grimtor. Grimtor is in the middle of it. He says he's continuing to talk about Petcham, the guy who got burned up. He's like, poor bastard. Like, man left behind a couple of kids, and those kids, they thought they'd get a better life out of Thansha. I haven't heard from them. Hopefully those kids are okay, but Pension, that poor bastard. Storms like that is something you don't want to toy. You don't want to toy with. I don't blame your folks for wanting to hunker down and not get in that storm's way. That's a really good idea. My home is open as long as you want. You can stay here as long as you like.
Grimtor, how long do you think it would be for us to ride around the storm?
Oh man, if you're trying to avoid the storm, let's see, I'd probably say, might add maybe if you're going to the castle, I'd say it might add another day to your journey.
What are you guys thinking about that? Maybe we just travel, go around the storm.
Grimtor, as soon as you introduce this idea, Grimtor speaks up. I don't know about that though. I mean, more than welcome to stay. The storm is mighty dangerous.
I agree with Grimto. I think we should just stay.
That poor bastard Pencham.
Let's just ride it out. Journey, the possibility of coming into other encounters. Another day's rations lost for the horses, so a shelter and food. We don't lose anything other than we're gonna use up our resources, so okay.
All right then.
Well, sounds like we're staying.
I think that's a mighty fine choice. I said you guys are more than welcome to stay here as long as you like. Feel free to stay here forever if you'd like.
Greg stands up and walks outside.
Male immediately follows.
Okay. As you two leave, Grimtor watches you leaving, turns to the rest of the group and says, he kind of scratches his head. He's like, did I say something offensive?
Oh, I don't think so. I think they probably just wanted to take in a bit of fresh air.
No, that might be wise. If this storm is definitely heading this way, we probably won't be getting much fresh air as we wait for that storm to pass.
Aye.
So you've actually been through one of these yourself?
I can't say that I have. You see, often those storms are coming through. They somehow take a little bit of a detour around our farm. I believe it's the what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, I believe it's the God that we pray to. He been giving us good blessing, protecting our farmstead. Yeah, the only time I have been through one of those storms has been when I was a wee little lad when my grandpa owned the farm. But I couldn't really tell you too much about that back then.
Probably fried all his memories.
Can you tell me about this god that you pray to?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, see, they call him the one-eyed harvester.
Whoa.
On account of he has got one eye,
Harvest.
Do I know anything about this religion? I mean, I'm proficient in religion.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's see. Alec and just Alec. Okay, you're only one proficient in religion. Okay. Let me message you real quick,
They call him
Alec.
Balrog, Scourge of the Realm. As this is happening, Greg is outside, and I just look in the direction of the storm.
Does it look like a chemical fire?
Chemical fire.
Doesn't look like a chemical fire. Hold that thought 1 second.
Mayo, I'm deeply troubled by all this.
Why?
Nothing seems right anymore.
We live in a weird world. Weird things happen. I'm looking forward to the storm.
I spent months traveling through these lands, and I don't ever remember these storms.
I'm new. I don't know.
There you go, Alec.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, sorry, Greg. Say what you're doing again. I'm sorry.
We were RPing.
RPing, yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys went outside or something.
Yeah, we
We
did go
did.
outside. Greg is staring at these storms and making small talk with Mail about being troubled, being unsettled about being in this place, and mentioning to Mail that throughout my travels through similar lands, I don't remember these storms.
You know, the stronger the storm, the faster it passes.
I hope you're right, mate. I do hope you're right.
You worry too much. Trust me. I won't let anything happen. I'm an expert in storms.
Alec, roll me a intelligence check with proficiency. Let me see if you can fish a little bit more. I'll give you this last tidbit. There you go.
As we're outside, can you tell me more about the area we're in?
Yeah, is there something you're...
Just like, is there any like landmarks?
No, so you're pretty much surrounded by pastures. It's a farming commune. So there's a couple other farmhouses that kind of like dotting the area.
How do these people get water?
Well,
There exactly. There's a well.
Does each farmhouse have a well?
Yes.
How big's the well?
Not very big.
Well sized.
Well sized. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's like personal use wells and there's some bigger wells.
There's what wells?
There's like the personal use wells that you'd see, like the real smaller ones, and then there's the big ass wells that little children fall into.
It's like the person, like each farmhouse has its own personal well.
Okay.
I will say that you also do see the ruins of a farmhouse, which seems like the one that the Grim Tour described as Petcham's farmhouse that got burned up.
Okay. How far did we say the storm was away?
It's from where you're at. It looks to be. It's got to be it'll probably arrive at night, maybe the morning the next day.
Okay, and we're in the morning right now.
Yeah, you're in dawn, pushing into morning.
Okay, Mail's gonna make some preparations for the storm.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to scavenge some wood, anything that looks like that could be used, anything that's like in the shape of a giant bull.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to make a makeshift, call it a fish tank, but like something that you'd put Shamu in.
How big? So Shamu sized?
Yes.
Okay.
This is gonna be makeshift, and I'm gonna require some help.
Okay.
Greg offers his help.
Something that can contain copious amounts of water.
Okay. Roll me survival at advantage,
Okay.
and then is it just you and Greg?
I'm just scavenging for shit right now, so I would imagine so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh!
Wow.
I know exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay. 20 and 23 and 18. Okay. So. Yeah, you know exactly what you're looking for, and you managed to find it, because I don't know exactly what you're looking for, but whatever it is, you find it.
I'm just looking for wood and some like material that can keep water.
Okay, that's easy enough. Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Call it like a 20-foot wide, 5 feet high tank.
20 foot wide, 5 feet high.
Yeah, like tall.
Okay, yeah, you definitely don't find that. I don't even
No,
know.
no. You don't find. I don't find like I don't
Oh,
find.
you're building.
I'm building it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Well, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for stuff so I can build that.
Gotcha. Yeah, you scavenge around. There's various, wood piles. Grim Tour is, more than willing to share, some cut wood. But otherwise, yeah, sure. You can. I'm curious. As the DM, I'm curious to see what you're gonna do with this.
Okay.
So, you do find it.
That's what I'm going to spend the rest of the day doing until the storm comes. Is building this little makeshift tank.
Okay.
I will help Mail in whatever aspect he needs me to.
Hey, Mail.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work on ships. Let me work on that.
Please.
I get my tools.
Okay. Mail is good. Mags is good. Greg, what do you have in your repertoire that you can add to this project?
I'm proficient in containers that hold liquids.
Mail, do you have a job for him?
We don't need the water right now. The only reason I was asking about the well is because if the well is big enough, I was just going to use the well.
Mm-hmm.
But the wells aren't big enough, so I'm having to make my own.
I'm pretty good with mechanics.
I'm looking for basically just a large, very, very large tarp and some wood to to hold it up.
So we have that on the cart in the wagon.
Yeah, the cart would probably help with this.
So we have the canvas in the wagon. We have poles, rope,
Maybe it's like a
etc.
maybe like a hide or something.
Yeah. I mean, you got the materials. That's not an issue. And you already have advantage on your roll because Shipwright Mags is helping you.
Well, I mean, Max can build the fucking thing if he wants.
Yeah. The other stuff, anyone else who wants to contribute, you just need like a necessary skill and how you're contributing, and it'll just add a +1. But you're also, you're also doing this, so you're spending the rest of the day doing this.
I'm proficient in athletics, so I'll do the heavy lifting.
Okay.
I'm proficient in nature and survival, so.
No, I know what you guys are proficient. I know, Mal, you're doing the heavy lifting, but I mean, Greg, if you could tell me exactly like how you're, rather than
I mean, I need Mail to tell me what he needs me to do.
I'm building a giant fish tank. I'm not an engineer, so out of character, I don't know exactly how we go about building this. But I'm hoping the shipwright would understand how to make a giant contraption that is capable of holding water.
It doesn't have to be in depth. I just need to know.
It really doesn't. I'm like, in my mind, I was building like a wooden stand, and then something that could hold the I guess the canvas that will go in the middle to hold this water.
I just need a little bit more than I'm proficient in X and X.
Right.
Role play out.
No, I think what I was trying to do was totally missed. I offered my help to him, and that's it.
What is
actually? Could I request that Greg make pitch if he can?
Yeah, that works. That's what I need. That's all I need. I just need, rather than just I'm proficient in like athletics or whatever. Just give me something a little more. Sid.
Right. I don't know what you guys are doing, so I'm offering my help to you. You have to tell me what I need to do.
Yeah, exactly. Sid.
Well, right now we're scavenging.
Right.
Okay,
when we scavenge, then I'd do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
I already did that with survival check.
Moving on. Sid.
That's ridiculous.
Avaldor. Alec. Since you guys aren't helping or telling me otherwise, what are you guys gonna spend? Because we're wrapping it up right now. What are you guys gonna spend the day doing?
Just looking around other areas of the barn and stuff that I could just kind of go over and check and make sure it's secure. Areas are secure, like I don't know, things are put together as well as they could be preparing for something of the sort. That's a little bit broad. I mean, like security, like making sure nobody comes within a certain range without us knowing.
Sure. I have Greg, Max, Mail working together. And okay, so Sid, Avaldor, what are you guys up to, or what are you guys gonna spend the day doing?
Oh wait, you said Sid is just looking at areas?
I don't think Sid mentioned what he was doing yet.
No. Who was that was looking at areas? Sorry. Oh,
I think
Greg.
I think it was Alec.
Sorry.
Alec was like going around securing the perimeter, the area.
Okay. So basically, reviewing the map, trying to make plans for the next day for the journey. Indications of where, a stop might be good for the rest of the horses, grabbing some water if there's a lake or stream. The provisions, just making sure everything's, secure, watertight.
Okay.
Pins, just.
Okay. Logistics. Sid, what can you spend the day doing?
I don't know. Do we know anything about the crystals, or would she just give us the crystals?
Yeah, she just gave you the crystal. Like, yeah, she didn't like. I guess she really didn't explain anything to you about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, experiment with the crystals.
That sounds so funny.
I mean, there's nothing to do.
No, that's fine. How? You don't have to go into specifics. Like how? Like, do you have anything in mind? Like how you want to experiment with it? Like maybe like cast some spells or?
Yeah, just spellcasting. And I also want to try and figure out what that black knife. Any special properties that black knife has?
The one that Demon Girl dropped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sid knife crystal. Check. Okay. So we'll go ahead and stop there. We'll pick up next week with the results of all your crafts. So next week we will pick up the night of the 8th day of Airspring, 10th year into the Second Age, to see how you got, or how, all your preparations and your logistics, and in this case, what he can glean from the knife and the crystal, the results of all that activity, and see how you guys weather through the storm. Should the storm even reach you, maybe this one will just magically go around like Grimtor mentioned. But with that, we are done for the night. Did you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback? All that mumbo jumbo.
Can I see you in the Whisper channel as soon as we're done?
You can speak to me in the Whisper channel. I don't know.
James.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know that some of the logistics are slowing the game down, so forward to to where we can actually, I guess, interact and whatnot, but I'm getting there.
Yes. So let me ask in general, I mean, is the pacing, like, is it too slow for you guys?
Today felt great.
Okay. What about, so I got Josh's opinion, what about everyone else's opinion?
I like it. I mean, I think it's going awesome. I just, I'm not at my, top tier performance because I've just been burnt out from work.
That's fine.
But man, I love it. I'm loving the storyline so far. I'm loving the fact that you're really letting us kind of just take a look at whatever, in detail.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Please provide, this is what I need to know. Like, if the pacing is slow, I know I heard just from Josh and Adam, but I mean, if so, if the pacing really slow, please speak up so I can improve the pacing. I won't.
No,
I have a comment.
Yes,
if you feel like the pacing is slow, I think that's because that's a necessary byproduct of role playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's a real good way to reconcile the two. So if you feel like the pacing is a little slow, then you're gonna have to cut down on role playing somewhere. It seems like people want to role play, so people find.
I'm perfectly fine with it. I just know some people. I don't know if anyone's zoning out or anything. I just want to make sure. I like the role playing. There's a lot going on. You guys, I don't know if, at least again from the DM's perspective, I feel like you guys are getting a lot of information, a lot of hooks going. I didn't even think you guys would spend this much time here in this farmhouse. I thought we'd reach the castle by now, but it's perfectly fine with what you guys are.
I am not listening to any information that does not pertain. Because I want to keep Mail as realistic as possible, and I can't. And if I know information, I can't help but it's always going to shape my character choices in some way if I know this information. So I am quote unquote zoning out when I'm not involved, but whenever I hear me and somebody addresses me, I always perk back up.
Okay, no, that's all good.
I'll add two things real quick, if I may. One is when we first met, there was a conversation about the role playing and the relationship it has to slowing things down. I only brought it up tonight because I know in the past said that he felt as though we need to get moving forward a little bit. So I love the role playing. It does slow things down. It's an inherent part of role playing. And I think, like John said, if either you have a fast game and you don't role play, or you role play and you have a slower game. That's just the nature of the beast, I think. And as long as you don't take unnecessary role playing time doing things that aren't important to the day or whatever the case may be. But I like it. I enjoy it, and I just worry about you, the DM, because I know, sometimes you have plans on us being here when we're way back there. So,
yeah, this is completely different from our last campaign. Our last campaign was definitely a little bit I don't know, a little bit, definitely more quicker. This campaign is definitely slower than I'm used to, only because, well, one, I've only DM'd for you guys, so I don't really like. I've DM'd for a few other groups, but those groups like never last like the first few sessions. So my really DMing experience with you guys, so that's the only 2 experiences I have in those 2 campaigns that we've done. The slow down nature of this campaign doesn't bother me. I really enjoyed the role playing. It adds a lot to what's going on.
It builds a world.
It builds a world, exactly. You guys are learning about storms, kings, and other things that are going around. People burning up in their homes, one-eyed harvesting gods, etc., etc. Things that, like, to be frank, that I didn't even have planned. That I'm just starting to make up off the cuff. But no, this is good. I mean, as long as you guys are good with it, I'm totally good with it. Corey, did you guys have any opinions on it?
I like taking things slower.
Okay.
I mean, I think it opens up more avenues for RP, and the more you stay in character in RP, like, the more it evolves the world. So
Yes.
I'm chill with it.
I was a wreck the entire campaign.
I will say, as
Yeah,
Mel,
right.
a lot of my RPing is going to come from my action instead of dialogue, and that's mainly because I want to free up the dialogue for people who actually are the verbal and talking characters here. And Male is just not. That's just not who he is. He's a force, like he's a fish out of water who doesn't understand things. So me taking up valuable talking time doesn't really help things. So most of my quote unquote roleplay will be done through action instead of dialogue.
Right, but it also leaves an opportunity for your character to evolve.
No, right. I was just like, in case any. That's calculated. That's not just because I'm not interested.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, I love your character. Your character's great.
What about you, Corey? You've been suspiciously quiet.
I definitely want to RP more. Sometimes I just get tired of trying to talk over everybody.
Yeah, and that's the main issue I was talking about. There's not enough.
It gets frustrating, and so I just honestly, I kind of zone out after that point. And there was a lot of talking today, so I just wasn't really into it.
Is there a way? Because I know you've voiced that concern before. I mean, unfortunately, it's just the nature. We have a pretty big group here. Is there something that I, the DM, or maybe the group can do better so that it's
Kill
not
half
so
the group.
I mean, I'll say it. We have a very large group, a Discord game. So when we only have our voice to convey our actions, having this many people talking and we only talk one at a time, it slows the game down. But then it's everybody's talking, and I feel like a lot of people don't like the lull, like when we stop talking. So the people that were just talking are going to continue to talk because they don't like the lull in the conversation, which leads to the same people talking, and then nobody really jumps in because the people who haven't been talking have really been waiting for a time to jump in. The lulls happen. They're like, well, this isn't really much. So they do have that option to jump in, but it's not for them. Right. So it's the same people talking over and over again. And I think, to be honest with you, I think we're just something to get over practicing of this style of role.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to add something because I feel self-induced. What's the word I'm looking for? Concern, because one of the things I really enjoy about Albaldor, I have to admit, is Tim to have a military organized kind of mindset and play him that way. And I know that when we were starting this campaign, there was a few comments about how there wasn't really a desire to take charge of the leadership. Embraced fully. Being the quasi-diplomat, I like negotiating the terms of the priestess to get a better deal. So requires that my character has a bit more speaking parts, and that's what worries me, is that communication time. And the last thing I want is for Albaldor to be the hoarder of game time. So but I enjoy playing and us organized and whatnot, but at the same time making sure that it is dictatorship. This is a group effort, so there's a vote for everybody.
Yeah.
The night, stay the night, that type thing.
Yeah.
So it's a leadership role without that, and I hope I'm pulling that off.
No, I think you're doing just fine. It really isn't an issue. It's not an issue new to this campaign. It was an issue to our last campaign, and it was an issue even with the campaign before Adam and Josh joined us when when Jim was here. It's what, like John said, this is kind of the issue with large groups, and especially with Discord where it's really only voices. It's something that I've always tried to look at, because I know, Corey, you voiced your concerns about it since as long as I can remember. It's just one of those things I really try hard to figure out how to solve. I just don't know how to go about it without saying, okay, next you're done talking, next person or whatever. But I don't know. It's something I guess we'll have to work on together as a group, so people don't feel like they're being talked over, and they'll have opportunities to to jump in. Go ahead.
I think when individual players start to get their plot hooks, then that'll be kind of time for them to talk and do things more. Mm-hmm. So I think it's kind of like everybody's gonna make sacrifice at this point till we get there.
I mean, you had a really great opening, Corey, with the with you and Alvador trying to talk down the dwarf bumpkins.
Yeah, I mean that's what it was, just me and him though. No one else could jump in and interrupt because it was just us.
It's just easier with the small. Yeah. This is just a problem you're gonna have with the.
Yeah. So I just need to split the group up more so you guys die faster. But no, yeah, it's something I'll see where maybe I'll do some searches or whatever, see how other groups handle large groups, because it is an issue with large groups, and even it was also, I felt like it was also kind of an issue when I was playing with you guys in that large group that we had. Not Jason's campaign, it was
mine
or John's.
John's, yeah. It was just big groups, but a lot of people have things to say, and that's not a problem, but sometimes you try to find an opportunity to jump in, and
you just don't have the time.
Yeah,
time
exactly.
in the world.
Right, exactly. So we'll try to solve that problem, and as long as everyone is still having fun, it seems like everyone is good with the pacing, which is great to hear. I was worried that maybe some people felt maybe it was going too slow, but if no one feels that way, that's great, because I feel like
my worry.
Yeah, I feel like tonight went really well. It's also given me an idea of how the pacing for this particular campaign and this group should go, which means I need to plan more for these individual events that are happening. This was really supposed to be, we took a rest here, and okay, now we're moving on. But now it just turned into a whole thing with the storm and the people getting high in the barn and whatnot.
Well, I don't know if you had planned on it, but I thought it's one of the things I think about tonight's role playing that I thought, for me, the niche, which was, since last week's attack, and we didn't make the wound up engaging the missling, and I kept thinking, how the hell can we keep, or what do we do for defense or security? I mean, through interaction with the dwarf farmer, dogs that help sniff out, type of. So I just thought, what a great solving, or it was an attempt to solve a problem, at least a short-term interim problem, but it was a problem nonetheless, and I thought that was pretty neat that it out.
Yeah, no, that was something that I had planned even before you guys took off on the journey for this town that I had, or not town, but this farms that I had. Like I said, I know sometimes it feels like I'm out to get you. Trust me, though, I am giving you all the tools you need. Maybe not.
You're a goddamn liar.
But
you were out to get me for 5 months.
Was that last campaign?
Yeah. Don't let him lie to you.
I think he's turned the new leaf here, baby.
I hope
but
so.
No, seriously. but look, the tool was there. But had we not engaged in conversation, had we not asked for it, that tool would have gone. So,
Right.
and I'm talking about the dogs. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if role playing and engage conversation, these kinds of things I don't think will come up as a potential source of a fixer or a problem solver, whatever you want to call it. So, man, I don't know whether or not the dogs would have been available for the first stop. So let's say we would gone to the first stop and not the second. You know what I'm saying? So again, you have control over that as the DM, but it's the dice roll and everything else. So, well, and like I said, it allowed us to solve a small, well, I don't know about solve a problem, but at least to help offset have an issue with for the next 3 nights on the road with the. So.
Yeah, no, like I said, you might not get all the tools right off the bat, and you might even, just kind of pass over the tools that I do have there, but maybe they're just not obvious. But I promise I'm not out to get you,
John.
Unless you're John, yeah. I have a special place in my heart for John.
Confirmed.
No, but on the real, so we're done for the night, guys. Next, or before next week, please let me know what. Like, I already know, John, your Tempest Cleric, because clerics get their stuff at level 1. But and I know, Corey, you're doing Arcfade Custom. But if you could also message me a little bit, just a tiny bit more detail, just so I can add some flavor when you do level up. But everyone else, yeah, just send me what you're thinking for your archetype.
Battle Master.
Yeah, so exactly that way I know I already have things in mind for some of you that I already know, but let me know so I can add some flavor when you do level up. So it's not just you guys leveled up. I want there to be something special that triggers the level up. Other than that, that's really about it, guys. That's a good night tonight. There's a lot of good role playing. Deej and John, I will get with you two regarding the things we talked about before the session. Okay.
You're gonna get with me right now because we have to.
Oh yeah, that's right. You and I are gonna talk. Which I think I might have not spoiled, but I think I might have started to breadcrumb you.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, I'll get with you guys, and then anyone else. I mean, you have my Facebook Messenger. I don't mute. The only chat I mute is the other chat. But so I'm not muted on all Facebook Messenger. You can either text me, call me, email me, whatever. But I'm available if you guys need to talk or want to flesh out your characters more, just have some ideas. So please get with me, because I want to make this as fun as possible and get you guys really into your characters. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Awesome with the voices, awesome with the characters and the role playing. You guys are doing fantastic.
And so are you, buddy.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
You're doing great.
Yeah, the DM is good.
I know I voiced this concern when we were playing Final Fantasy, but I'm glad, you specifically complimented me, John.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thankless job. Somebody's gonna do it.
It truly is. I tried it once, never will do it again. Never in a million years. Take this side of the game board.
Mm-hmm.
But we're done for the night, guys. I know, John, you wanted me to stay. Did anyone else need to talk to me?
Yeah, just real quick.
Okay.
Night all.
Josh, you can go first.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
All right, good night, guys.
Night. Good session.